Diddly potatoes. We are back in business, baby. What am I doing? My phone is still uploading. Yeah, it is, to my computer. And so it's been plugged in for like 3 or 4 days now. Hear me out, guys. That's just not right. But that's okay, I guess. It's like 19,155 photos of the way through out of 41,372. So not even halfway. It might just be plugged in for the rest of the week. That's fine, as long as it gets the job done. Scars, welcome in. How are you, my friend? I hope you're well. Check out the fit for today. Come on. I mean, that's a drip like no other, right? God dang. I don't know what to say, except, yeah. Hi. Hello, hello. How are you, my friend? I hope you're well. And yeah, today is Lucky Friday, for me at least. And I love a good Friday, you know? Don't we all love Friday? It's like one of the best days of the week, in my opinion. And usually, like, it's a family tradition to have, to do something special on a Friday. Whether that's like, all get together and like order some takeout or go watch a movie, play some board games. That's kind of the spirit of Lucky Friday. And I remember when I was younger, and actually this is something that a friend also told me about, like Friday was the one day where some of the normal rules didn't necessarily apply. So like instead of having a time limit on your computer time, for instance, or like a curfew where you had to be back home by a certain time, it was just like all bets are off. Play on your computer as long as you want. Come home whenever you want. Or maybe not that lenient, but you know what I mean. It was kind of like it's like, yeah, a time to just let loose and have fun. And so that's what I'm hoping we can do in this stream as well. Just have our own version of Lucky Friday. So, the World Enjoyer, hello, welcome in. I'll try and help you settle any disputes though. I'm no authority. I hope you guys know that. We do love a debate. And yeah, you know how restaurants sell food for money? I do indeed. I am slightly familiar with that. The last time I went to a restaurant was, well, I had takeout, so I don't know if that counts, but I have purchased food. The last time was about a week ago, or yeah, just about a week ago. But if I bring food to the restaurant, will they give me money? I guess it depends how good the food is. If it's like really, really spectacular, they might just want to add it to the menu. That's quite funny. But like, you know what? If you can bring food to the restaurant, yeah, they might just say, oh, actually, you want to work for us. Your spaghetti's killer? I bet it is. I remember when I used to work at a cafe, there was lots of food that was left over at the end of each day. And even though I wasn't really supposed to do this, I often would just like package it all up and like kind of hand it out to some of the people working in the factory out the back. Because I was like, they want me to throw this out, you know? Like I found it quite wasteful and regrettable. And so I knew that they were, they, as in my bosses, they wanted me to just chuck it all in the dumpster because that was what was required, like kind of by law, because it's a liability. If you give it to someone and they get sick, it's like they could sue you. But I was like, I don't give a fuck about that. No one's going to sue me for like feeding them when they're hungry after a long ass shift. So I just kind of went behind their backs and just like, hey, I've got food. Do you want some? And, you know, it made me happy to do that. Though, who's to say, like, maybe my bosses were just watching on the cameras like, what the fuck is she doing? But anyway, Red Ranger, welcome in. Hello, our first time chatter. I think I saw you followed, was it the other day? I'm glad to have you here. We're literally just getting started. I'm still halfway through putting on my face, and check out the merch, guys. Like, what the hell? The drip is absolute insanity. I'll show you guys a full outfit in a little bit, but yeah, I'm very well. I hope you guys are too. And funnily enough, Mida, you say I have the best skin. Literally today I just applied what is it called, this stuff, concealer, for like the first time in ages, because I've been breaking out, mate. Like, you can't really tell. This camera is quite forgiving, especially from this far. But I was like, oh, okay, I feel like a teenager again, breaking out. So don't believe everything you see. If I zoom in, you probably get more of a harrowing look at the situation. I'm not brave enough for that quite yet, but maybe a bit later. And so there we go. I'm going to continue putting on the rest of my face. And as for our plans for today, I don't really know. Just chatting up a storm like we normally do. I don't know why my voice did that. And I can talk to you guys about how my phone has literally been chained to this room and this computer for the past few days. Because now I'm in too deep, guys, with this transfer of photos and videos. Like, I don't want to cancel it halfway through. It's taken this long, so it's like sunk cost fallacy, you know? And yeah, I just needed to create more space on my phone because it had like 1 gigabyte left. It was causing my phone to crash and do all this weird shit. So I was like, oh, finally, after many, many years, actually since I first got this phone, I should probably empty it out. But yeah, I'm in too deep now. What can I say? I'm just scared that after all this time, it will still somehow not work. Because, like, I've put in hours and hours at this point, and it's so, like, unsophisticated. There's only one button, and it says cancel. You know, it's like, what the fuck? There's no way to, like, pause it or come back to it. And, yeah. If I, like, unplug my phone, it's just going to cancel everything, and I don't want to do that. So, oh, gosh. Scars is asking about karaoke spots. I wish I knew. We were talking about karaoke last stream. I'm not really in the know, to be honest. I'm too cowardly for karaoke most of the time outside of the shower. And so I have to get back to you, but Shaz would probably know. Maybe I can ask him. You're going to PAX. That's fantastic. I literally have not even looked at any of the events and stuff. I've just been trying to just get my shit together, essentially. But PAX, every time I've gone in the past, has been incredible. It's been like basically every nerd's dream, and I say that with love and respect. It's got cosplays, it's got like conventions and panels, I think that's what they're called, where people like have discussions and stuff. There's lots of great food, which is a little bit pricey, and the after parties and stuff are pretty cool too, if that's your, you know, flavor. But yeah, I am woefully undereducated about the karaoke spots, and I'll have to just get in touch with people and see what they're doing. I used to sing karaoke with my ex, but the songs are in Spanish. That's cool. We didn't have to get up from the table though. I think I like that. It's less of a, you know, standing on stage, everyone look at me situation. It's more just like you're singing along, you're having fun with your friends. I love Spanish songs. I think they're just so beautiful and sexy, but you know, beautiful is the main thing. And so yeah, karaoke, maybe one day. I have to like get over my fears. I'm perfectly happy at this point, at least, just posting to my YouTube channel. That's like my version of karaoke. Hal, oh my gosh, welcome in. It's been a hot minute, my friend. My name is Hal, and I'm really glad to meet you. You were recommended to me by some people. Is this illegal? Hey, this feels illegal. I know that song that you're referencing. That literally is diabolically catchy. And so I hear it all the time when I'm just scrolling on my phone. I don't even have TikTok, but it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. And so every time I hear it, I'm like, fuck, well, I guess I know what's going to be stuck in my head for the next like 8 to 12 business hours. Welcome in. I hope you've been well. What am I doing here? This is eyeliner. Can you believe it? It looks different to a regular eyeliner because it's quite thick. And so it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like if you're going for an unsubtle approach, I should say. Because for reference, this is what a normal eyeliner might look like. See how thin that is? So it's like, it's kind of good if you want to just get it all done in like a broad stroke, but yeah, it's quite like heavy-handed, I would say. I'm always tempted to just try it like with the appealing lull of laziness drawing me in. Just like all you need to do is go and it's done. But then usually it looks like, you know, early 2000s scene raw XD. So that could be a look. I could be a scene girl. That's quite funny. Yeah, Lady Gaga has been killing it. I often also get her songs stuck in my head. Have you heard like her newest album? It's so good. It's like too good. Zombie Boy, Love Drug, Disease, Abracadabra. People like saying like before she released her album that she was like Jova, like she was just irrelevant and she was done. And then she just like dropped that shit and everyone's like, oh, words eaten. And so, yeah, I've been bumping that shit. It's like, it kind of creeps up on you, like some of those songs. Because it's like, have you ever like listened to an album and maybe skipped over a couple songs and then ages and ages later you re-listen to it and you're like, oh my God, this is actually a banger. I can't believe I've been sleeping on this song for so long. That happens to me quite often, actually. And it happened to me with Lady Gaga, a few of her songs. Like, I don't know why. Maybe just on a first listen, I wasn't in the right mood. But then I regret it because like I come back and it's like, oh shit, this has been under my nose the whole time. So, yeah, Just Dance, what a classic. It's like, she really did revolutionize a lot of that, the kind of culture at the time, you know? And she was constantly, every step of the way, like coming up against people being like, oh, she's so weird. Like, she's so unique. She's so, I don't know what people would say, like demonic. That's always the thing. Like the what is it called? Satanic panic. Whenever an artist like steps onto the scene and they're doing something a little bit transgressive, like, oh my God, they signed a deal with Illuminati. Maybe, who's to say? But yeah, she really did pave the way, and I think that's so cool. She's had such a fruitful career, and that's what you want, you know, as a performer. Because, like, it's so easy nowadays to just become utterly irrelevant. So, yeah, speaking from experience. No, that's like the fear, I guess. When you're on the internet, when you're in the public eye, people's tastes and their proclivities and their patience, it's all, like, quick. It's a fleeting thing. And so you have to kind of be on the ball with your fingers on the pulse. So... yeah, how do I know the Illuminati sign? What can I say? How do you think, you know, how do you think I got this shirt? It's like this type of drip don't come easy, I assure you. But yeah, what can I say? Actually, who was I listening to most recently? I'm a pop head, so basically any pop, it's like highly likely that I'll enjoy it. I was listening to some K-pop actually. So that's always fun, though it can be a little bit tricky because obviously I don't really know the words. And so it can be quite maddening to have like this really catchy melody stuck in your head, but you can't actually sing it out loud. So you're just like, it's like unsatisfying in a way. Maybe I just have to learn Korean. That's the solution. But there's some really cool stuff like coming out of K-pop and Korea in general. Yeah, it's like, it's almost like specifically designed to be as catchy as possible. And I know all pop music is like that, but maybe they've just perfected it somehow. And so, yeah, highly approve. Though I'm not quite in the, as deep into it as some people. Like I know there's some K-pop stans that get intense, to say the least. But yeah. Yeah, something that makes you want to gyrate your hips, that's the devil. Exactly. And that's like something that even Elvis, like in his time, people were literally like, oh my God, he's a bad influence. We need to send him to jail because he's too sexy. And it's like, well, what a compliment, first of all, but still, it's like, it's just funny to see how far we've come, to be honest, because like they had to film Elvis from above the waist back then because it was too scandalous. And nowadays we have stuff like WAP and yeah. You know, just like, I've come a long way. And I don't say that in a positive or negative way. It's just interesting to see that kind of evolution. I wonder what the people of Elvis's time would say if they saw that. But yeah. Cody, welcome in. This is for you, my friend. Ready? Ding. And yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. It's nice that like I can literally just start streaming whenever and, you know, have some company to join me. It's like, it's quite a privilege and one that I don't take lightly. And yeah, you guys are right. Like back in the day, they had to like cover up pregnant bellies because that was seen as kind of scandalous. Like, oh, you had sex, like to make that baby. And yeah, pinup posters were like, they were seen as like really scandalous. It's just crazy. And sometimes I wonder, what will our world look like in the next 50 years, let's say? Because already we've had quite a few changes in our own lifespans, excuse me. And so who knows, maybe it'll be like the continuation of this AI boom and we'll all have an AI boyfriend or girlfriend. Who's to say? Oh gosh, it's kind of scary to be honest, but anyway. What am I gonna do here? Also, if you can hear like the garbage trucks in the back, I apologize. It's like, it's rubbish collection day, yippee! And the trucks are so friggin' noisy. It's like, how is that even possible? There it is. If you had a real poster, the police could bust your door down. Oh my god. Like a poster of a real girl instead of a cartoon. It's actually funny. It kind of relates to the title for today, which is Hear Me Out. Kind of going based on our previous conversations. If you guys have any hear me outs, I'm curious. But don't do me dirty and it's like, hear me out, Angelina Jolie. It's like, oh, you mean like the hottest lady in the entire world? That's what a sacrifice. I want the weird shit, you know, the stuff that you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't say this, but that's a true hear me out in my eyes. So if you have any, and if you feel comfortable, all ears. And Cody, you can't stay for long. That's totally fine. Enjoy your Jack's Box experience. And yeah, I don't know how long I'll be staying on as well because I'm seeing a movie with my auntie and brother later. And guess what? My parents are coming back from their holiday very, very soon. Next Tuesday, I believe. And so I'm so excited to see them because it's been like 5 or 6 weeks at this point, and I've never been away from them for that long. You know, it's like it shouldn't feel like such a weird thing, you know, because I live alone. Like I've moved out, and it's not like I used to see them every day anyway. But they were always available, if that makes sense, to just drive over and hang out with them. But since they've been gone, they're literally like across the entire world in a different country, in a different continent, and that's been strange. We've been FaceTiming a lot, or like Facebook Messenger calling, and yeah, so it helps me feel like they're not as far. But it's just so weird, you know, like my family, we've always been pretty close, and so it's been a bit of an adjustment. We're definitely going to have a party when they come back, and I'll get to hear all about their trip and be just completely jealous, but also happy for them at the same time. So, but yeah. Pro Photo, welcome in. I hope you're well. Hear me out when I die. Heaven will be me and Rhea Ripley together on a nice beach. Is that weird? That is not weird at all. Weird would be, hear me out. I want to make out with a bowl of cereal. You know? Like that's a hear me out, you know what I mean? It's like we got to get this this straight, because quite frankly I've had it up to here, not that high, but you know what I mean, with people that say hear me out and then they just like literally say the most obvious like attractive person ever. It's like, come on, I know it gets weird in that head of yours. Like we're all friends here. So, yeah, last time we talked about my own Hear Me Outs, which you guys know from the start of this channel, to be honest, and some of my unfortunate teenage crushes, which, by the way, is not like meant to be a pattern. Yeah, weird things that we're attracted to. That's right. That's the title of this stream, at least. Because, like, I remember being really into Undertale, the game, and having a crush on Sans. And yeah, I'll never live that down, I suppose. But, you know, it was just like, again, more about the actual personality. It's not like I actually have a thing for skeletons. That would be weird. Okay. But that's a good example because it's kind of like, what the fuck? But also true. But yeah, it's like more about people, I suppose, characters, not individual parts, because that's just a fetish, you know what I mean? Hear Me Out is more like, trying to think of a good one. Shit. I was going to say Marge, but it's like, she's actually just a baddie, so it doesn't really count. I don't know, like, no, I can't say that either. You have to toe the line, I think, very carefully. Like a good sandwich or something, you know? Like something that shouldn't be as attractive as it is. A good sandwich, a good sanger. And so some people don't have any, and that's cool. But since we're talking about it last time, I'm curious. And so yeah, hear me out, guys. A deep cut, June from the old Nickelodeon show. Ooh, now some of these I'm unfamiliar with, so I have to look them up, and I'll be the judge. Though to be honest, like, I really can't talk. Here. My mouse is being so loud. June. That's so cute. Yeah, I can see that. Like, watching this show as a kid. Let me show you guys. Full screen. Here. I haven't seen this show, but it looks cute. And I like her hair and her outfit, so. Is it playful? Yeah. Look at that smile. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, see, you've got the spirit of this, like, this theory, if you want to call it that. It's like something kind of cute and silly, maybe a little touch embarrassing, though I don't think you should be embarrassed. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Maybe I'll watch this show. It looks like something, yeah, that I would have watched after school. Like, we had this after school special kind of thing where all these cartoons would play, and it was called, I think it's called Roller Coaster, where we had like a host, and he'd be like, oh, up next is this show, and it'll be like, oh, okay. It was a specific thing that happened like every day, either before or after school. It's an anthology show. Oh yeah, it's kind of similar then. That's so cool. Henry and June. Was this... When was this, actually? Let's look it up. Trying to find what year. It's a Nickelodeon show. Was it 97? Wow. Just a bit before my time. That's cute though. It looks a bit like those drawings in Roald Dahl books. Like, you guys know Matilda and stuff like that. How they used to be like, not annotated, but illustrated with these really sweet, kind of sketchy line drawings. I don't think they were colored in though. Very cute. The cartoons before my time were in black and white. That's cool too, though. Like, come on, Betty Boop. That's not really Hear Me Out. That's like what we were talking about last time as a Hold Me Back. It's quite funny. Let me grab this here. Yeah, so that's a good one. If you guys have any more, let me know. If I don't know what they are, I'll have to look them up. But that's got the Emmy stamp of approval. So if it's a character pro photo, then it should go through. So yeah, my Hear Me Out maybe is going to be Pat Thick. And I have to show you guys the back as well later. This is, believe it or not, merch on my store. And I was wondering if the website was actually working again because one of my friends said that it was. So maybe it's just my computer. It's still not. But yeah, this is available. Not this exact one, unless you ask nicely. Oh, it is working. Good. And so yeah, a bit of a merch plug. So I'll show you guys that in a sec. I always laugh at the photo that my mom took and then chose to put on the website. Holy shit. Here. This. It's like, what the hell? And so I'm repping the goods. I don't know how this started working, by the way, this website, because I didn't do anything to it. It's like one of those things where it just resolves itself. Do I have a favorite scary movie? Scary in what way? I really like Triangle because it's more of a psychological thriller. It's, I think, an Australian movie, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, my mum first introduced me to it, so it was like a bonding session. It's really good if you haven't seen it and you're into kind of like a bit of mind fuck, bit of a Inception style kind of. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And the prices here, yes, they're in AUD. So they should be probably half that if you're in the US or elsewhere. So yeah, if you guys are curious, here, feel free to peruse. There's all kinds of stuff like postcards, posters, merch, like wearable merch, and of course the infamous Pat Thicks. Any more? So the story with these is that my auntie actually like crochets them by hand, and you know, we do it all at home. It's all fair and square. I make sure that she gets her cut, my mom gets her cut, and it's like our little side hustle, I suppose. So I was wearing last time the Emmy hoodie, and I literally wear it so often. It's like, oh god, I swear I'm not that much of a wanker. Like, I know it's my own merch, but it is actually just genuinely comfortable. And so that's my recommendation. But everything here is made by us, and yeah, I recognize that it's kind of more of a luxury thing. Like, you don't need a postcard in your life necessarily, or a shirt with Pat Thick on it. But if you consider it to be more like a piece of art, whether it's like something you put on the wall or something like a postcard that you give to someone else, that's kind of how I would describe the poetic shop, which my mom actually named. It's like, what should I call my shop? What should I call my poetic shop? And she's like, what about a poetic shop? Genius. So, and yeah, we always chuck in free stuff too, because we can. That's why, like in the past where I was like complaining and going off about other companies like CapCut, don't get me started, and their kind of predatory, annoying ass business practices. I was so annoyed because I know what it's like to have even just a really small business and how unnecessary it is to be, I don't know, just pulling that that greedy shit, you know, how greedy. So yeah, the labor of love, and I hope it should all be working. I've got some examples. Whoops, right here. It's a postcard with my Margified face on it. So yeah. Oh gosh, you guys are nearly done with the mystery secret. That's actually crazy. That's impressive, I'm not gonna lie. Holy shit. I can't wait. Literally, I've been dying to tell you guys since we brought it up, but I'll have to, you know, be patient. How long? Not long at all. Okay. Probably in the next, how many streams? Quite a few handful of streams, let's be real. But yeah, I can't give any more clues because I feel like I've already given some clues that, you know, peppered along. If you've been here from the start, you could probably guess by now actually what the mystery secret is. Before anyone asks, no, I'm not pregnant. So thank you, Profoto, I appreciate that. The bits and pieces, my friend. Let's come back here. Yeah, what was I talking about? Merch. This is the outfit for today. My mum made this, if you can believe it. And it says Pat Thick. And then on the back, it has the back of him. That's, just ignore that. See? So you get the full like 360 view. She didn't make the pants. No, these jeans are my own. And they've got rips. Oh shit. They've got rips in them, guys. Can you believe it? Cue every grandparent in a 10-mile radius saying, oh, do you need help sewing those up? Did you fall? Type beat. So yeah, that's the fit for today. And to be honest, I've been thinking about whether I'd wear something like this in public. And I feel like the answer is yes. Because like, I don't know, just seeing the looks on people's faces would be kind of funny. And especially if it was like at a, you know, we're talking about PAX earlier, like some convention, if people knew, they'd be like, hey, I see you. Or if they were like, what the fuck is that? Why does that look like Patrick Star, but blue? And why is he wearing a thong? It's like a conversation starter, you know? But I think it is quite a powerful shirt. So you have to wield it with responsibility. You have to like accept the fact that you'll probably get looked at. So I don't always want to be looked at, believe it or not. And yeah, I have to save this bad boy for special occasions. As for the jeans, I think, yeah, I bought these. These are like my sister's. I think they were bought with the rips, so not authentic. Though, to be fair, I have had jeans in the past that had just so worn in that they do develop that like, what's it called? The teasing or whatever it is. But for some reason, my jeans always seem to rip, not at the knees, but like inside, like on the inner thigh. So yeah, that's not fun. I've had my grandma re-sew my jeans up like multiple times in the same spot. Like, I don't know why, they always just, that's the weak point, I guess. Thighs too powerful type beat. And so, yeah. If my jeans were to rip at the knees, I probably wouldn't get her to sew them up, because at that point it's just like a happy accident. You're suddenly fashionable. But yeah. Yeah, the apple bottom jeans. You know how it is. I actually do have wait, apple bottom jeans, that means like flared jeans, right? Let me just double check that. I do have flared jeans. Meaning. Or is it about the actual like butt part? For some reason I always thought apple bottom jeans were like flares. I don't know why. I guess it's about the pockets. I don't think I have jeans quite like that. Bell bottoms is really cute. It's kind of a 70s vibe. I don't know if that's true, if that's just my mind making that up. But I love my flared jeans, and they literally, they just change up the situation. You know? I don't know, like, I think the skinny jean look is quite almost like a millennial style. And then nowadays with like the Gen Z, I don't know what the hell Gen Z is up to, but more relaxed straight leg style is kind of more trendy. But because like I'm a cusper, I'm in the middle between millennial and Gen Z. So I do love my skinny jeans. Like I'm literally wearing skinny jeans right now. You can pry them from my cold dead legs. But I get how they kind of dated, which is a weird thing to say. Like, oh my gosh. Have you guys seen the way Gen Z is dressing? It's like, it's crazy. It's cool, but it's crazy. Yeah, I love light blue jeans as well. I think the particular typical denim wash is so classic. Do I have any? Just looking around at my wardrobe. I don't even have like on hand any of that style, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And I don't know, it's just classic. There's also a song that I like called Japanese Denim. It's meant to be like a particular kind of denim that like is really sturdy and lasts like basically for a lifetime. And I've never seen a pair of Japanese denim jeans, but I'd like to. I'd like to wear some. And the closest I got, I guess, to like professional jeans, if one can even call it that, is one time where I was feeling particularly indulgent. I headed to this particular boutique where I live, and they kind of tailor the jeans to your figure, right? Yeah, Daniel Caesar, that's right. My blue jeans, that one. Yeah, so I went to this place that you put on the jeans. Sorry, I've said the word jeans so many times right now. It's like actually, it's saturating my brain. Sorry. You put on the pants and like, you know, just go in the changing room. You come out and then they mark you with like this white chalk. Then once you're happy with the fit, like with what they've done, you just leave for a bit. And when you come back, they've like specifically tailored it to your measurements. And so it's like the most perfect fitting jeans / pants that you've ever had. And so where are those jeans? What the fuck? I haven't seen them in ages. But yeah, so I got that done once, and it was like a bit more expensive, obviously, but I think it was worth it. The only thing that was unfortunate was the fact that it was a bit of a trek to get there. It's like kind of on the other side of town. And so it was worth it. And if it was closer, I would definitely go more often. But like, it was literally a whole journey to like go in there and get these jeans. And so I just wanted to try it just once. And the process of like just standing there while someone marks you with chalk is quite interesting. It's like, oh, I feel so fancy. And the fit really is like, it's basically exactly like a second skin, if that's what you're going for. I remember even when you first go in, they had jeans in like single number sizes. You know, like sometimes they have like 10, 12, 14, but they were just like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, even like in betweens. And so I was like, wow, you guys really care about jeans. That's fantastic. And so I remember when I got my pair, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was an in-between size, which of course, right? This is something that has plagued me since I can remember. I'm always right in the middle, like between two sizes or like two particular things, and I often just have to choose and make do, right? So like for my shoe size, for instance, I'm a 7.5, not a 7, not an 8, 7.5. And for my jean size at the time, I think I was usually used to getting, I think it was either a 10 or a 12. And really my actual size would be closer to like an 11, whatever the hell that means, you know? And so, yeah, it was just nice to like not have to, I guess, compromise in that way. And you can have clothes that fit you as opposed to you having to fit the clothes. That was an interesting experience. Definitely a luxury, and the price for for the whole thing, so including the jeans, including the tailoring, was like 70 AUD, if I'm remembering that right. This was a long time ago now. But also this particular store, and I don't even know if they still do this, this was in Australia, they had this lifetime policy where it's like, if your jeans get like ripped in some way, or if they like start getting loose, you can bring them back and get them retailored for free. It's like, oh, that's so good. And again, if it was closer, I would have gone back, but you know, it was such a long trek to get there. So when my jeans started feeling loose or whatever, I just didn't go back because I was like, I can't be bothered. But I'm sure if you lived around there, that is like such a boon, essentially, because they honored that and they were like, yeah, we'll just retail your jeans for free. It's like part of their mission statement or whatever of like sustainability and making sure that people have the best fit that they can. Because obviously after some time, when you wear something over and over, you like wash it and stuff, it like loses some of its structural integrity. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you have to necessarily throw them out or like buy new ones. You can just get them retailored. And so that was something I thought was really cool. I've heard that after some time, the amount of requests got too much. And so they had to like implement some structure or system where it's like, oh, you can only do it on this day or something like that. But yeah, I think they still do it. So that's kind of cool. And one time actually when I was thrift shopping, I found a pair of that brand jeans and I was like, oh, that's so good. Yeah, exactly. Suffering from success is exactly right. And so I have 2 pairs from that place, even though I only went once. So that was like a kind of a happy accident. Though the ones I found at the thrift store, they weren't the perfect fit, but they were pretty close. It's like someone that, weirdly enough, had a relatively similar size to me. So nowadays, I don't know if it would still fit, to be honest, but they're here somewhere, like amongst all the stuff. Those jeans are just hanging about and just waiting for me. They're like, Emmy, have you forgotten about us? I'm like, no, I swear I haven't. I'm just wearing the same pair of jeans that I've been wearing for like years and years now. But yeah, it's cool. I always do still look when I go thrift shopping as well, like for that particular brand, because it's like, it's kind of, at least now, a bit of a clout thing. Though back then I wasn't thinking about clout. I was just like, I want jeans that actually fit me, please. With like good material, good tailoring, and you know, that potential to get them retailored for free. And so yeah, nowadays like people kind of caught on and they're like, oh, this particular brand is so what's the word, like so esteemed or whatever. I was like, okay, anyway, yeah, that's my jean story, guys. Isn't that so interesting? Oh yeah, jeans that fit like a glove are so essential, really, because they're so easy, they're so effortless, and you can really dress them up or down depending on what you're going for. Now, of course, I don't think you could necessarily swing wearing jeans to like a wedding or something, but even like pretty formal events, if you do it right, you can probably make them work. And I think that's like so cool, because personally for me, versatility is everything. Like, as much as I have been guilty of this in the past, like having a single use like utensil, for instance, or like a piece of clothing that's really nice, but you can literally only wear it in like one particular occasion. It's just not really that sustainable. And so I've tried to curtail those habits, stop myself, even if I'm like, oh, this is such a really nice top or something, but it's literally like made of 3 strings and I'll never really be able to wear this, to be honest. Jeans, like well-fitting ones, like you're saying, the opposite of that. And that's really cool because, yeah, I don't know. I like trying to be sustainable where I can, even though, yeah, I probably could be doing more, especially with the amount of clothes that I actually do have, which is why we're doing this challenge in the first place, wearing a different outfit per stream, because it's like, it's a way for me to like actually get some use out of these articles of clothing, maybe find stuff that I haven't seen in a while, and yeah, just, I don't know, hopefully add also a bit of visual interest to a stream that's quite static usually, and just me yapping on about whatever it is. So it's a cool challenge. And I think we set like a hesitant parameter of like a year's worth of different outfits. But honestly, if we're going based on the ability to swap out tops and bottoms and stuff like that, I could probably go for a lot longer than 365 outfits. So that doesn't really say anything good about me, I know, but I'm doing my best. And over time, actually, if I do wear something on stream and I'm like, actually, I fucking hate this outfit, I could just put it to the side and be like, that's for the donate pile. Because it's crazy how many clothes I have now, knowing that I have donated bags and bags of it in the past. And, you know, it's not entirely all my own stuff, because I've had a lot of hand-me-downs in the past. Not, you know, not necessarily from family either. It's like friends or just random people. Like there's this one instance where I was at this class, and actually this kind of relates to the mystery secret, so I can't give too much away. But I was at this class, right? And the instructor was like, I have a bunch of clothes that I don't really want or need. So here, guys, like to everyone in the class, just take whatever you want. And I was like, okay. And so it's like weird instances like that kind of just collect over time. And then, of course, my own shopping or bulk buying, I suppose. I remember when I was like in the midst of my Depop craze, I was like just seeing if anyone on Facebook, for instance, had a bunch of clothes that they didn't really want to sort through. They're just like giving away the whole thing. It's like, yeah, I'll take it. Why not? It could be like totally dud, but there might be one or two pieces in there that can be salvaged in some way. And so, oh God, over time it does add up, you know? And now, I guess because I'm not even really in that Depop craze anymore, which is like secondhand clothing business type beat, I'm like, well, what do I do? So I do envy people that have like this really minimalist, like capsule wardrobe where they have like four shirts and 4 pants, and it's like that's all I need. I'm like, that's pretty cool, but yeah, I don't know if I could get away with that, even though I typically only wear the same outfits anyway. So it's like the ironic paradox of it all, you know. I think it mainly started during the pandemic because there was nowhere to go, or like we literally weren't allowed to leave. So I got used to that feeling of just wearing random stuff, you know, just like whatever, and not really caring too much about it. And then starting to feel like, I don't know, like losing not that spark, but maybe the confidence to wear those bolder outfits because I just wasn't used to it anymore. And then, yeah, now I do have places that I can wear these outfits to, like parties and stuff like that, and outings in general. But I still feel a little bit like even nervous for some reason. So, yeah, it's weird what a year or more of isolation can do to a person. But yeah, my clothing also, the pieces of clothing that I like, Astro, they do get worn until they fall apart. It happens most often for me with shoes because I'm really picky about shoes, and I don't actually have that many pairs. Like I've got one pair of runners, like, you know, exercise shoes, one pair of flats that I just like wear every day. And then sometimes, you know, a couple of heels for like special occasions. And I just hate the process of like breaking in shoes and like thinking about which shoes to wear. So I just usually stick to the flats, or if I'm exercising, the runners. And so because of that, I just wear them every single day until they literally fall apart on me and I have to get new ones. And it's usually the exact same type. Yeah, because no one likes breaking in shoes, right? It's so annoying. The blisters, the tightness and the awkwardness. And shoes can be quite important. Like they can change the way you walk, the way you put pressure onto the ground, where your weight sort of sits. No pun intended. And so like, just can't be bothered, you know? I just can't be bothered, mate. And if I can help it, then yeah, I'll just stick to the same thing. Right now, it's actually obvious with my flats. Where the hell even are they? I don't even know where they are right now. But they're literally like halfway to falling apart. And so, do you guys remember there was one time on stream where my previous set of flats were literally disintegrating, and I just like kind of pulled them apart and they just, yeah, they just eviscerated. So, funnily enough, I don't know what this says about me, but I've never had a pair of Doc Martens. Like, it seems like a rite of passage, especially if you like more of the scene or like edgy goth look, or even just like alternative look. But I never had a pair. I don't know why, because I think I would enjoy it. Maybe because of the laces. I don't even know. But yeah, I've literally never had a pair of Docs, and I thought they were the coolest thing ever when I was in school. I still do, to be honest. People wearing them, looking like badasses. I was like, oh, I wish I could pull that off. But to be honest, like, I had Velcro shoes until way too late. Because, I mean, laces in general, I'm still not the biggest fan of. I can tie my laces, but it's just like I prefer not to. You feel me? And so back then, maybe seeing all those laces, I was like, that's advanced technique. So yeah, one day I'll get my pair of Docs and I'll feel like a true badass. But until then, sticking to my non-Velcro shoes, but still like mostly slip-ins. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty lazy to the point where even my runners that have laces, just keep them laced and slip my feet in. So yeah. Oh gosh. I'd love to have a dress-up stream one day. That would be really cool. It's kind of similar to what Jerma did with his like Sims but in real life stream. And God, you guys know that I have more than enough clothes for the job. But I wonder how that would go. Like, I have to take pictures or like show different options. Because yeah, that could be like, you know, real life Barbie situation. What girl wouldn't want to like play in that realm? Though, yeah, I'd have to set some parameters. It's like, sorry guys, should I wear the bikini or should I wear this like gigantic poncho? You decide. Like, I don't think, yeah, that could very quickly spiral, but in general, I think it'd be a fun way to just like see some more unique pieces in my closet. Like, is it out here somewhere? There's a vest that I have that I got one time for a play, so I needed to get some weird unique piece of clothing, and I went to this costume store and they had this vest that was just like entirely covered in buttons, and I was like, that is so weird. Like, why does this exist? I need it right now. And so I've worn that on stream before, like once, but yeah, it's like, when could I ever wear that out in public? You know what I mean? It deserves a chance in the spotlight too. It used to be over there, but now I don't know where it is. Oh, maybe let me check. Wait, where is it actually? Is it over here? Or has it disappeared like everything else? I have to find it. But yeah, it's really cool. If I wore it in public, people would think I was like Doctor Who or some shit. Oh yeah, you guys get to see Patrick. Crazy, right? Is this a wedding chair? Oh, you know it. Like, ta-da! I mean, eventually, hopefully, I'll get to marry my one true love, German 985. Oh God, it's a decoration. You know, you got to spice things up a little bit. Otherwise, it's just a plain old regular gaming chair, and that's no fun. Oh gosh, I'm still organizing that stream, by the way. Just marry German 985 ass chair, exactly. And so we're actually over halfway with this, and I'm planning to get a dress, maybe a veil, we'll see, a ring. I'm gonna get one of my friends to dress up and pretend to be Germa, which hopefully doesn't inspire a restraining order. What else? Maybe I'll have another one of my friends like do the fake officiating or whatever. And yeah, we're gonna make it look wacky and real. It'll inspire a raid, if anything. That's so funny. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And I'm hoping to do it in such a way it like straddles the line between being funny and absurd, and also not like, what's the word? Weird, threatening. Like, this is not a threat to German 985, please. Please just have mercy on me. It's more like a display of my appreciation. And I was also planning to get, like, because I don't know how my friend is going to, like, dress up. If I have, like, a mask or something, or, like, a cardboard cutout of his face, then I can, like, swap it out with other characters, and it'll be, like, yeah, it will take some of the pressure off. If you actually wore a wedding dress, it would actually reach him. Don't tempt me, because I was going to get a dress. And you know what? One of the reasons why this idea came to me was because I was thrift shopping, and I was like in the wedding dress section, and I was like, these dresses are so unbelievably cheap, and they're beautiful. Like, they're absolutely gorgeous dresses, right? I was like, you could really stage like a fake wedding, or like a Vegas style wedding with, you know, like, not too much effort. You know, certainly not the amount that a real wedding would cost. You know, yeah, there's actually a wedding section. And I was like, okay, how, like, what would it look like if I were to stage something like that? And so the price point here is a bit advanced, I realize. And that's for a number of reasons, mainly because it's just so absurd, right? And I'm still unsure if I even want to do it, but, you know, I'm beholden to you guys. And also, like, if I get my friends involved, I'd have to, of course, like, you know, just also make it worth their while. So I was like, okay, dress, ring, veil, multiple friends potentially involved, decorating the place, making it look somewhat official, printing out the masks. Because I was also thinking of, like, printing out a Sansa skeleton mask as well. So it just, like, switches halfway through. It's like, oh, you thought. But yeah, so all of that combined, the Emmy Marries Gemma Fund. And so I'm scared. I'm truly scared. But I think it'll be fun. It's like in the style of those absurdist event streams that he's so well known for, and the ones that I so admire. So yeah, maybe I'll even get him to wear the dress. My friend, I don't know. I have to pick one of my friends who's like down to clown, essentially. I know a couple that might be interested, but yeah. I think it'll be cool. So, and also, I do just want to wear a wedding dress as well. How fun does that sound? Like, I don't know, it's like kind of a once in a lifetime thing, hopefully. And like a little bit of a princess fantasy in a way. So it's a blatant wish fulfillment from several different areas at once. And maybe also, like, you know, after that we continue the lore. So if I'm wearing like some wedding ring, people are like, what the fuck, are you married? I'm like, yeah, didn't you know I'm married to German 985? Just check it out. And so it's like our little inside joke or something like that. But that's like, yeah, for future Emmy to worry about. Because these are just all ideas that I had, like putting them all together. I think it's possible. But the main concern that I have is just to not be, like, you know what I mean? Like, to not make him, if he were to ever in a million years stumble across something like that, feel uncomfortable. Like, it's not meant to be making fun. It's more like it's like a love letter of appreciation to be like, I admire your creativity and artistry so very much. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, following in that path in a way. Yeah, so a wedding that's not too accurate. Exactly right, because, you know, he has a girlfriend, I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've, like, I don't know what his situation is. I don't want to be, yeah, like, encroaching on that. It's purely like a self-contained, like, little, I don't know. Fantasy is too strong of a word, but maybe it's a bit of that too. So yeah, a fake Vegas wedding. Oh God, it'd be good if we got like an Elvis to officiate as well. Oh my God. You know, so like all these ideas are kind of going through my head, and I've only briefly started putting pieces together. Every time I go thrift shopping now, it's not really that often, but I'll just check out that wedding aisle and I'll be like, this is a nice one. It's my size, maybe. And I imagine going to the counter and like the cashier would have been like, oh, you're getting married. I'd be like, kind of. So yeah, it's going to be the next kind of big event stream that we do. Like the last one was the Marge cosplay. This will be the wedding cosplay. And we do have that Elvis costume, so maybe I could convince my poor long-suffering friends into like joining me. Yeah, if I were to hire an Elvis, it would be quite expensive. But if I wrote my friends into it, who knows, I could get a good deal. Because I do have, well, some friends that you guys have met before, but I have like, yeah, a few in particular that I could probably convince them, please, 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 you know. I know it's weird, but just go with it, you know. Yeah, and like last time, my friend Alex, who played the saxophone on stream, like, what if he was here just playing the saxophone? It's like the the official wedding music is just so perfect, and I can't wait. Though I am equally excited as I am terrified, and so I don't know if we'll be in here either, because would there be enough room? I could do it in the kitchen / living room. Anyway, that's, again, more stuff for future me to worry about. That's kind of what this is for. And I'm not really in any rush to complete the goal, to be honest. Whenever it happens, it's like, that's fine with me, especially because we had such a big break there. Yeah, the jazz, the wedding jazz, you know. Oh gosh, that's so silly. Literally, the way I can tell when I have a good idea, in quotation marks, is whenever something pops into my head and I just kind of laugh and simultaneously shake my head and think that is utterly ridiculous. Let's do it. And so, yeah, that's kind of what happened here. And oh God, the clips. I can just imagine the clips that spawn. I'll probably have to get your guys' like thoughts on different masks to print out, because my mum, like in my old childhood bedroom at this point, she has like a whole operation going. She's got like all these different printers, her 3D printers, and we could very easily make like a cutout of different characters. So if you guys like, oh, Emmy, we don't want you to marry Gemma anymore, we want you to marry Pathic, for example, like it'd be like, oh really? Bring out the Pathic mask, something like that. And so, yeah, it's just like, the possibilities are endless. And I'd be like married to 50 different questionable characters at once. That's the dream, isn't it? Sans mask is utterly essential, I think. And who else was I thinking? Well, we've had a couple of memes, like different crushes throughout the time I've been streaming. Yeah, we'll have to see. My mom, yeah, I'm sure she's not robbing banks, though. She probably could, because, like, holy shit. Seeing my old childhood bedroom transformed in such a way, she's got, like, it's like a literal mini factory in there. She's got all these different gizmos and gadgets, different printers that do very specific things. Her kind of state-of-the-art 3D printer as well, which is how she made this, actually. I know it's hard to see, but that's meant to be me, if you can believe it. Wow, that is really not working. Let's see. Can you see? It's meant to be me. My mum printed that. And it says Emmy, but it's backwards. So, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, she's like obsessed with her 3D printer. Don't make me laugh. Excuse me. And, you know, she's retired now, so it's her hobby. I can't fault her for that. But I'm just like, holy shit, Mum. You've got a whole ass factory going on here. And it's good, though. It's actually what allows us to run our little shop together and stuff like that, too. So, yeah, we should definitely paint it. I was actually considering that. It's quite majestic. I think it makes me look more majestic than I actually am. She used like a photo and somehow the program was able to turn it into like a 3D thing. And yeah. She's printed out so many different things. I need to put like the rest of the stuff she's made on the website, but it's been one of those things where it just gets away from you, you know? Excuse me. But yeah, fun times ahead, guys. I'm glad to be back, even though I still feel quite rusty. You know, 3 months away, it's a long time. It's a long enough time to forget some of the you know, the skills. Is that what it's called? Required to do something like this. And yeah, part of me still feels that like terror when I'm like pressing the start streaming button. I'm like, oh God, I can't do this. I can't do this. But then, yeah, usually I just throw myself into the deep end and I press it before I can like chicken out essentially. And that's been helping, weirdly enough. You know, it's petrifying, but effective. So I've appreciated people's patience and yeah, it's been like a refreshing comeback, I suppose. So that being said, for today, we'll probably have a shorter stream just because I do have to go later. And yeah, next time, just remember, type in "this stream absolutely sucks." I mean, what the fuck? And I'll just, like, if I ever get too big of an ego or my head gets too big. 1 second in. That's a perfect, like, counterbalance, you know, because you guys are often so very sweet. I think if left unchecked, I could become absolutely insufferable. So every now and then, just be like, "this stream fucking sucks." Like, what's wrong with you, type beat. And it'll be like, everything in balance, the yin to the yang, it's as it should be. No, but you guys, I can't thank you enough for being so welcoming. And like, the fact that people even still remembered me was so crazy. It's like, dude, this is the internet. If you're gone for like a day, people forget about you. I was gone for 3 months. And even before that, I was kind of like, more like staggered with my streaming. So yeah, it's not lost on me that that level of like patience is it's unbelievable. It just makes me shake my head because I can't believe it, you know. But yeah, 1 second in, that's funny. Oh gosh, maybe you guys can help me with what movie I should watch today, because it's been a bit of a weekly ritual now where on Friday or maybe on the weekend, I'll get together with my family, the family that's still here, that is, and we'll watch some random movie, like kind of exploring some of those classics that I never got around to, because my parents' house being free, they have this really, really super, like mind-blowing entertainment system, big TV, great speakers and stuff, and so we're like, obviously, we're capitalizing on that, essentially. So recently we watched Scarface, we watched Dead Poets Society, I watched The Hangover, the first one, which was quite funny. What else? There was a few others too, but I can't remember now. So, yeah. If you guys know any other classics that are like a must watch, I'm all ears, because it's been 25 years of me pretty much only watching Cat in the Hat type beat. I have not seen There Will Be Blood. Tell me more, tell me more. And welcome in, by the way. The Big Lebowski, I have not seen that, but I think, wait, have I? Is that a show or a movie? Oh, I'm thinking of The Big Les Show. No, I have not seen The Big Lebowski. Is that with Steve Carell? These are all really, really good suggestions that I can bring up today. And then, you know, my auntie's going to think I'm so sophisticated doing all these movies, but it's really just what you guys have told me. Feel free to let me know like what it's about, and I'll see if I can suggest it today. No, I can't really see if this actually looks good or not. Yeah, I've got to impress my auntie. Like, that is literally my main goal, because, you know, she's the creator of Pathic. Like, she is literally the backbone of this channel. So me when I'm planning hangouts, literally, she's I was just talking to her yesterday for like half an hour on the phone. She's basically like my third parent, you know. At times, yeah, she was kind of like there more than my actual parents, to be honest. And my parents were quite attentive, I would say, for the most part. And yeah, she's seen me at my worst. She's seen me at my best. We're quite close. We travel together and stuff like that. Yeah, choosing the correct dialogue options. She's crazy though, I will say that. Like, as much as I adore her, and I do, I would literally die for her. Like, she is a crazy individual. Sometimes I think you have a very abstract mind, which I've said to her before. Yeah, she's someone you guys should actually meet at some point. She's camera shy, so I don't think she'd ever show up full face cam, but maybe as like a, I don't know, like a VTuber interview or something. I think that could be fun. She's got a lot of funny, like, interesting things to say. She's utterly ridiculous, and yeah, I like hanging out with her, so it's a good excuse for us to just, chill in the same room together. So we'll see. Maybe after all this, that can be our next big thing, just like an interview with Auntie, because I talk about it often enough on stream. And yeah, she's made all these plushies and stuff like that. So she's always here, even if, she's not physically present. But it might be nice for you guys to get to know her better. I don't want to put words in her mouth, But yeah, she is single as well. So, if you're willing to to join the Cherry fam, it's quite a collection of characters. I'll swing it by her if she wants to be in the stream in some way. Maybe not like this. That's a bit confronting. But I could always... How could I do this? I could have a phone call with her or something. But I want it to be here. I'll figure it out. Yeah, so lock in, guys. If that's what you want, I can make it happen. It's like, it's only natural after I've had my sister on stream, her best friend. I've had some of my friends on stream. I've had my cousin. I've even done a full-on stream or a couple of streams with my grandma. So it's about time, I think. Yeah, I'll try not to hype it up too much. I think literally it speaks for itself. But I'll have to see if she even wants to do it, because she's very, very shy. I think that's where, I don't know, is that where I get it from? A lot of my family can be quite shy, funnily enough, except my grandma. She loves the limelight. She loved doing the stream together where we made all this Greek food and stuff like that. So yeah, it's amusing. I don't know where that comes from. But yeah, she loves the idea of having her own little cooking show for people. And actually, she even asked me, my grandma, when we could do something like that again. So I have to get my shit together. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Because I've been mainly focusing on this. It's there's a hierarchy going on. And I'm sure that's going to be pretty intense. So one thing at a time. Oh, goodness me. But yeah. Anyway. Putting words in people's mouths is wrong, but mouthing words is okay. I'd say most times, yes. Mouthing words, how else could you say them? You know what I mean? Unless you're just mouthing it without saying it. Yeah, it's funny you mention that. Because I'm always really careful when I'm talking about other people because I don't want to accidentally misrepresent how someone feels. You know what I mean? As much as I think I may know someone, I can't definitively say oh, my grandma loves ... She loves being in the limelight, like I said before. Because I'm well, is that true? I mean, that's what I've gathered, but yeah. It's one of these things that just plagues me. It keeps me up at night. I'm this is not helpful to be thinking so much about the exact intricacies of every sentence. But what can I say? It's the affliction of being a writer in a way, knowing how important words can be and wanting to make sure they're wielded appropriately. Yes, that is Patrick on my shirt. This is my own merch, if you can believe it. It's a character we like to call Pat Thick because he's thick. Wait. That's the back, If you can see it from the front, wait till you see it from the back type beat. Oh god, sorry. We used to have a little Patrick GIF, but I when I moved computers, I don't think I haven't like uploaded it properly yet, have I? No. I will though. CJ, hello. I hope you're well too. Yeah. I still need to get the rest of my files transferred, and I can't even talk about files because then it just reminds me. Holy shit, my phone. Guys, I've had my phone plugged in for like so long now and it's literally not even halfway. The face of utter despair. And like the longer I leave it on, the deeper in I get, like the more sunk cost there is. Because I'm like, I can't cancel it now. It's been uploading for 3 days. Yeah, it's still plugged in. It's literally still plugged in. It's at 19,229. I'm tempted to yell at it, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm just like, oh god, I hope it doesn't mess up right at the last minute. Because it'll all have been for nothing. And yeah. I can't really, like, I can't do anything with my phone right now. Like, it's essentially imprisoned. And I have to keep it on as well, so... It's first world problems, but still, it's very aggravating. J-Bond says, late 90s friends got together to play video games and watch movies. First time I saw SpongeBob, I thought Patrick was a piece of talking bubblegum. That's so cute. And honestly, not too far off. Oh, that's funny. I mean, like, I can't even remember the first time I saw SpongeBob because, like, it's always been a part of my life. I was probably a literal infant. I always had a soft spot for Patrick, you know? He's just like living his best life, being a bit of a, what's the word? Being a bit of a silly guy, but also with surprising depth at times, like when he wore those fishnets. That's when you're like, oh, I'm seeing a new side to you. Like everything, like this changes everything type beat. But yeah, I used to watch SpongeBob with my mum and my brother and my sister. And that was like, it was like family time essentially. You know, Patrick and SpongeBob, they were like our designated characters for when we just seen too scary of a movie and we needed to calm down before bed. So yeah, sometimes I still utilize that tactic if I've just seen a terribly scary movie and I'm like, I won't be able to sleep. Just chuck on an episode of SpongeBob. Bob's your uncle. Yeah. As for my phone, what I'm doing is I'm transferring my photos and videos from my phone to my computer because I had too many gigabytes, guys. Way too many gigabytes. And I didn't realize that it was going to take this long. I didn't know how long it would take, but certainly not like 3 days and still going. So I just keep looking at it, being like, okay, as long as it's actually continuously going, that's fine, I guess. But I'm scared because like, I don't know. It just feels like it's gonna, like something bad's gonna happen. But I can't live like this, guys. My phone was literally like shutting down because it had such little space left. Anyway, my auntie is a baddie for sure. I've shown you guys pictures before. Oh, I can't even show you guys pictures now. Oh, sorry. She's like, yeah, the Gen X version of me, I guess. Well, actually, nowadays she doesn't have dark hair. She has blonde hair, but yeah, when she was like kind of my age or a little bit older, we looked pretty similar, except she had curly hair. So really big, like, you know that style, the 80s style. Almost like a perm. So yeah. Nowadays she has blonde straight hair. I keep telling her, oh, you have to go back to that black haired look. It was so iconic. And she, yeah. She's like, she's graduated into her like cottagecore look, if that makes sense. Because Because she used to be more edgy, I think. Now she's like more cottagecore, relaxed. Yeah, the 80s was fun. I say that like I was there. Looking at photos from my like mum and my auntie and stuff like that. The outfits, the hair, it's hilarious. It's like, damn, I didn't know you would, I don't know, I didn't know you were that adventurous, mum. Like there was a time where her hair was like completely platinum blonde and like kind of cropped really short. And yeah, I was like, okay, pretty cool. I think she was trying to recreate that Duran Duran look. But yeah, like some of the outfits, the hairstyles, I love it. I mean, I admit when it comes to like art and stuff, I have a soft spot for like maximalism. It's like just the bigger, the better, the more decadent, the more crazy. It's like it's such a feast visually. And so I see stuff like that new romantic style. I'm like, okay, I love it. Give me all the pirate shirts and like puffy hair and extravagant makeup. I just, yeah. I don't know. It's just like so endearing to me. I mean, I think there's been kind of a resurgence of that, maybe. But it's hard to talk about fashion nowadays because with the internet and like globalization, the trends are less like homogenous, if that's the word. It's almost like every individual person now has their own set of trends, which can be like fun in its own way. But the eras are getting harder to distinguish because it's like there's just so much happening at once and you can like get influenced by people across the world. So there's not really specific localized trends necessarily anymore, which is interesting. I don't think it's like a good or a bad thing. It's just a thing. And so, you know how the 80s and like 70s and stuff were like really distinct. I think there's elements of that nowadays, but it's maybe less ubiquitous, you know? Like you see flared pants and like some groovy psychedelic pattern and you're like, oh yeah, that's 60s, 70s. But nowadays, if you see someone wearing like jeans and a hoodie, it's like, could be 2000, 2010, 2020. Like it just seems as if those hard delineations between each era is kind of more porous. And so take that as you will. But yeah, certainly if someone saw this, I don't know what era they'd think I was from or what planet really. But yeah, I'm definitely no fashion expert, I should say. Like this is just the ramblings of a sleep deprived madman. But I don't know. There's something about like clothing in general that's always interested me because it's like, well, it can be like visual fabric poetry in a way, you know, how you choose to decorate yourself, how you choose to signal to the world like what you're interested in. It's just like a different way to decorate one's life. And so I see parallels between how you can decorate a page with poetry and how you can decorate yourself with clothing, with your hairstyles, with tattoos, certainly. Though I've talked about it before, I can't see myself getting a tattoo, barring extenuating circumstances. Like, I'm just too indecisive. Even if I like the idea, like, I could not sit on, like, a specific design for more than, you know, like 6 months to a year without wanting to change it. So, yeah. My style is very dull. I never wear any logos. I think that is perfect. Like, I try not to wear logos if I can help it. And it's not even just like when I'm streaming. Like, I don't like the idea of wearing a brand's fucking advertising on my body. Like, what the fuck? If you want me to be a walking billboard, fucking pay me. You know what I mean? But I don't know, somewhere along the line, companies have pulled the wool over our eyes and made it like, so we want to wear their names. And it's like, I don't. Like, I don't want to wear a fucking big ass logo across my chest, you know? I much prefer, like, if I can help it, something either like dull and plain or like an actual pattern or design, or, you know what I mean? Like an actual functional, nice looking piece of clothing. Yeah, so, you know, of course, Patrick is the absolute exception, you know, because he's what we all aspire to be. But like, hopefully you guys get what I mean. Even with the merch in my store, like there's one clothing piece in particular, the Emmy hoodie, that has my name on it. And I was like tossing and turning over that for so long. I was like, is this like a walking billboard? But then I realized, well, it doesn't really point to my channel. It's literally just a name, and it's in my handwriting as well. So it could be just seen as like, I don't know, a cool little scribble, like a piece of writing that makes you go like, oh, okay. Because it doesn't say www.emmycherry4@twitch.com.au type beat. And so I was like, okay, I can sleep somewhat easily at night knowing that it's not just like my fucking Twitch logo slapped onto a hoodie. Because I know a lot of people do that, and it's, I guess, fine for them. It's easy. But I'm like, I wanted to make my clothes look kind of like something you'd see at a store, like just a regular clothes store, and make you want to actually wear it like that. So that was my thinking, and hopefully if I can help it, like that will be how I continue going forward when it comes to making like wearable merch, at least. Because I don't know. It seems to be like rather cheap, not just like literally financially, but I mean like artistically, it seems cheap to just slap your name and logo on a piece of cotton and be like, hey guys, buy this for an exorbitant amount of money. I don't know. It's just a whole thing. So I tend to think of the stuff in my store as like wearable art, or like postable art. And I'm using the term art very loosely here, but you know what I mean. Like something that hopefully offers a bit of visual interest, besides the whatever it is, the brand. What a horrible word of Emmy Cherry, you know? But yeah. I honestly can't think of any clothes that I have with like kind of centered logos and stuff like that. You know, like the most prominent thing about it is the logo. I have to scour my brain. But yeah, I also used to do this thing where if I had a piece of clothing with like a tag or something that was well, not just itchy, though that was also a thing. But like if it had the logo and it was like really blatant and obvious, I just cut it off, you know? So it's my ongoing war with brands. Oh gosh. Yeah. Anyway. The Germacraft pasta has to be the wedding vow. Oh god. It's funny because I'm pretty sure I know what you're talking about. But, oh god. It just like makes me realize this is actually not too far from reality. What have I done, guys? What have I done? I need flowers as well. You sip on the sweet cider for better or for worse, so help you God. I was thinking, oh god, there's so many good memes. Like, for the different like character masks or whatever, because he's got some fucked up looking portraits on Google. Not to make fun of him, but just to be funny, you know, like, I mean, let me show you. Even if you just type his name onto Google, like, the stuff that comes up. Of course, you've got the friggin' sus guy. Oh, there's some cute ones here. I'm glad, because last time, you know, we did this and it was just like the most crazy looking faces you've ever seen. More along the lines of this. Oh, look. That literally looks like the Scout from Tier 2. That's crazy. But yeah, like, imagine if I printed out like something like this. Oh god. Wow, that's crazy. Maybe I need that in my life. I love the split eye goat eating grass edit. I know exactly which one you're talking about, and I have a meme on my phone where it was like, back in the dinosaur times, meteor about to impact the Earth, and it's like the Bronchosaurus or whatever, and it's just that picture. It's so funny. Wait, split eye. I don't know how to describe it, but I know which one you're talking about. It's not any of these. He's eating salad. This one, right? So good. Oh yeah, T-Rex. Holy fuck, that meteor is coming straight for us all. The Brachiosaurus. He's just eating his grass, not a care in the world. It's so funny. And poor Germa, because here's the thing, right? Oh my gosh. What on earth is happening there? He is just an objectively handsome individual, right? Like, if you go back to his normal face when he's not doing anything crazy. Let's go back. Like, he's literally a handsome guy, you know? And so it's just, and this is something I've talked about before, kind of, like, it's a testament to his dedication to comedy and the bit, where he's willing to like pull these ridiculous faces and like get himself into these crazy situations and not kind of balk, is that the word? B-A-L-K, at these edits that people make, you know, because it can be quite harrowing to see yourself like that. But just look at him, like, he's genuinely attractive, and maybe that's what makes it easier for him to like detach himself from those faces and edits, you know? Edit? And Maui, hello, it's been so long. How are you, my friend? Oh gosh, what a blast from the past. Look at this. Like, I just wonder how he might have felt if he saw this. Like, has he seen this? It's like, what the fuck? Gemma's the type of guy who needs a fork and a knife for a burger. It's so funny. Like, he just takes everything in good stride, and I really admire that. It's something that I have tried to incorporate into my life. You know, not just in streaming. This is like something that I think everyone could benefit from. Like, you know, bald Gemma looks like a musket grape. And it's funny because there's still an element of cuteness there, you know? Like, you can do whatever you want, but you can't take the cuteness out of the man. Oh gosh. The fucking Chad edit. Honestly, he looks better without the edit, like the Chad edit. Oh Lord have mercy. It's just, some of these are literally harrowing, and it's like, how does he feel when he sees this? I don't know. Oh, this is great. See? Yeah, it's unfortunate that he's like just my type. Oh God, kill me now, seriously. This is ridiculous. This is why I don't do this on stream anymore, because then I just get into an existential crisis, you know? Yeah, you're right, Red Ranger. That smile, the sus guy smile. It's quite famous now, but it's definitely it's got a Pennywise feel to it, I agree. It's like the sus. If you type in sus guy, he comes up. So he's actually like kind of accidentally become a mainstream meme many times over. This is one of those instances. So people that don't even like know what Twitch is, or they don't know what streaming is, they've never heard of Germa before. Some people have heard of the sus guy, and I'm like, you don't realize who this is. It's crazy. When the imposter is sus type beat. But yeah, it's happened multiple times where he's like literally accidentally kind of breached the mainstream. And so, yeah. Yeah, there should be a forum. I totally agree. There probably is. There's a lore wiki. Let's have a look. Germa lore wiki. Maui, how have you been? I hope you've been well. It's been such a long time. Thank you for the compliment. I'm going to be honest. I'm wearing this lipstick because I'm feeling insecure. You know? Sometimes it's just a quick little bit of lippy is all you need to turn your day around. because I bite my lips a lot, and so it's also helpful to make sure that I don't, like, I stop that essentially, because obviously, you know, I'd taste a lipstick and be like, ew, oh, that's right, I'm wearing lipstick. So it's actually, it's multi-pronged. It's beneficial for its mood boosting properties, and also for its like negative reinforcement. Don't lick your lips, Emmy, don't lick your lips. Let's see, he's got characters, shitty characters, the creator, Germa Rumbles, the community, random page. This is so lovingly tended to. It's nice. And then the rat. Oh gosh. Yeah. He's the blueprint. Let's be real. And I don't know if he's still streaming. It's been, like I said, a sine wave where whenever I'm streaming, he's not, vice versa. And when I took that big break, apparently he was streaming quite regularly. And I started streaming when he kind of announced his retirement. So it's just like, we never got the timing right, guys. So sad. But let's see some of his characters. There's lots of them. Oh gosh, 480. What? No. Agent 47? That's just Agent 47. Oh. He was a character in the wrestling. Holy shit. This is crazy. Look how many there are. Let's click on a random one and see what we get. Gob. A mysterious character that originates from the official German 985 Discord was created by an AI. Okay. Birth. This is so weird. Mida, this is a streamer like that I personally really like. He's basically the reason, among many, that I started streaming. And yeah, he's kind of like my my mystery crush. That's what I called it back when we had a little incentive going to get me to reveal the crush. So I still call him that, even though it's not a mystery anymore. He's like, yeah, he's silly and funny and wickedly creative. And I think basically he kind of like paved the way for a lot of modern streamers. Him and a few others. So yeah, he was a mystery crush all along, if you can believe it. I remember when I finally told people, it was like this incredibly funny moment where people were like, what the fuck? I don't know why people were so surprised. They just like were expecting me to say someone like Henry Cavill. It's like, guys, my tastes are a bit more unique. Though Henry Cavill is certainly a good looking man. Homer Simpson? Astro, you saw Elvis like in real life? Oh my gosh, tell me more. In the Ring. He's just streams so much. It's, yeah. It's cool. Anyway, I did write a poem for him. It's this one. You can probably tell by the 985. Oops. Wait, how do I do this? Oh, you saw it in the list. Oh yeah, that's right. Because I remember once we happened to like stumble across a random clip of Germa's and he was with Elvis in the fucking desert. And I was like, whoa, this is my two worlds colliding. I was like so happy. Yeah, it's weird. We have a lot of intersecting points of interest. Though yes, Elvis is quite like, he's ubiquitous. But even, what else? Oh, yeah, some of the games that he's played. I remember one time, because Pikmin, oh god, me and Pikmin, the game, go way back. It's like a story that, one of the first stories I ever told on stream about loving it as a kid. And if you don't know what Pikmin is, I'll show you. Pikmin. It's a game with these little carrot-like individuals. And I remember this game, the first installment of this game came out when I was a kid. So I was like, oh gosh, I don't even remember how old I was. When did it come out? The first game. Anyway, I was really young, and the thing is, you like, you kind of control these characters, and if you don't bring them all back to base by the end of the day, they get eaten and killed. And my parents always told that story of me like accidentally not bringing a few of them back and them getting killed, and I would just start crying. So yeah, that's how much this game meant to me back then. It still does now, even though I haven't even really explored much the newest installments of these games. The first game just has some nostalgia attached to it for me. Anyway, I remember once I was watching, it wasn't a stream, it was like a replay, like a video of Gemma playing Pikmin. And I was like, oh my God, it's like one of my favorite games. It's so cool. I was like bat chesting all over the place. And he read a comment in the chat, and they were saying something that was scarily similar to my own experience. It was like, they were saying something about how like they couldn't stand to play it because, again, like they would start crying if the Pikmin got killed. And then Joan was like, oh my God, that's so cute. That's like the cutest thing ever. And I was like, oh my God, he's talking directly to me. Even though this wasn't my comment, this wasn't my account, and like this happened probably years back. I was just like, this is meant to be. Oh gosh. And so somewhere like deep in my camera roll, there's like a little screen recording of that moment, because I was like, I need to treasure this and hold on to it. But even besides that, he's played some other games that I really like. And he's made some like hilarious ass videos that like left me gasping for air with laughter in a time where I think needed just any win at all, like any smile. You know, we've all been there in like a more of a depressed or dark place. And for me, I think there was a lot of that feeling, unfortunately, during the peak of the pandemic here. Because, I mean, we couldn't leave our houses. I understood why. I knew that the stakes were high, and like, you know, this wasn't a game. But there's something about being trapped indoors, go figure, that can really lead to quite a depressing state of being. And so, you know, besides filling my time with as much art and creativity as I could, and my school like studies, I'd watch like his videos and feel like a little bit less, I don't know, a little bit less despondent, I suppose. Because when someone's making you laugh so hard that you can't breathe, you kind of forget about all the other random little problems in your life. And so because of that and so many other reasons, like it just, I don't know, he has a special place in my heart. And yeah, those moments I'm so grateful for, because it's like, I don't know, the ability to make someone laugh and smile, that's peak. That's top tier in my eyes. And so, yeah, Hillary Clinton hair. I can hear it, his voice in my head. Like, it's crazy. And I know how tragic it sounds, by the way, and I'm not deluded. It's like, it's not the kind of crush, I suppose, that is expectant or entitled in any way. In fact, it reminds me of when I was speaking to one of my friends in high school. He was telling me that he had a crush on one of our like joined friends, like, you know, in our friend group. And I was like, why don't you just tell her, man? I'm sure she'd like, I don't know, she'd be flattered, of course, but she might even feel the same way. And he told me something back then that I didn't understand, but now I so do. And it was like, to him, having a crush was kind of like this personal little secret. And the pleasure was in just keeping it for himself and just like kind of enjoying it for what it was without necessarily wanting to, like, you know, pursue it. He just enjoyed the feeling of like, you know, liking someone in that way. And he was satisfied essentially to sit in that feeling. And I was like, huh, because at the time that was completely foreign to me, you know, like I've always been of the notion, and it still kind of persists somewhat to this day, where for me, having a crush on someone felt like this incredible burden, where it was like, I need to get this off my chest. I need to tell them straight away. And look, if they recoil in disgust or if they're open to the idea, it's like, at least I'll know. And so I've never been able to have a crush on someone for longer than like, I don't know, a few months without telling them, if they're within my, like, you know, reach, essentially. With characters and stuff, it doesn't really count. But with actual people, like, it would build and build and build until it's like, oh my God, I can't, like, I'm just going to accidentally say it anyway, so I might as well just say it, like, with intention. And so, yeah, the crush wouldn't go away after saying it, but in terms of like how long I could keep it to myself, it would be like, you know what, let me just get this out in the open. Because at the same time, you know, I wanted my intentions to be telegraphed as clearly as possible. Like, I wanted someone to know, like, hey, I'm thinking of you in this particular way, and I don't want that to be like a surprise or a shock, because that might be not a nice feeling to be like, oh, I was just wanting to be friends, but this whole time you've had like ulterior motives. So I just wanted to be like, this is my thoughts and feelings. Do with them what you will. I don't expect any particular answer. I just want to get it off my chest. And so that was kind of my MO, and still pretty much is. Like, so when my friend told me that, it was a radically different way of thinking about, I guess, what is the word for a crush? It's not it's like a mix between lust and love, like the beginnings of that feeling. It was a totally different way to think about it, you know? And I was like, that's interesting. And that's kind of a similar way to how I feel about people like Germa, because it's like, it's a mix of admiration and like acknowledgement of their attractiveness, but without that feeling of like pursuit or expectation. Because of course, in this case, like literally he's fucking famous, and like that's not even possible anyway. But let's say we actually knew each other. Like, I wouldn't necessarily want to, I don't know, just mess with the niceness and purity of that feeling and like the admiration. Sometimes it can get tangled up if suddenly it's like all these other feelings are entering the fray, so to speak. And so my friend taught me something interesting that in that conversation. And I think I've come to appreciate what it means to like have these particular thoughts, not even always crush related, but just to have this inner relationship with yourself where you're like, okay, I'm allowed to have thoughts and feelings without necessarily enacting upon them. And I can enjoy them without feeling guilty. Like, I can like let them go when I feel like they no longer serve me, instead of feeling like, oh my gosh, this is such a burden, I can't believe I feel this way, like it's going to just accidentally just bring forth and I'm going to ruin everything. Like, there's that element of catastrophizing that I think my younger self, which, you know, it's teenager stuff, of course, was like, it almost felt like it was an inevitability for me to just accidentally ruin something, you know, something nice. And nowadays my crushes are pretty, like, I don't know what the word is. It's not like they're any less meaningful or severe, but they've kind of taken on a new flavor, which is a bad word, but you know, it's like, it's more about a deep appreciation for someone. So anything else is just like the cherry, the Emmy cherry on top, so to speak. And so, yeah. And J-Bon, you're on the money there. Like, when it comes to celebrity crushes, for me, I've never had like a typical celebrity crush, like just based on someone's looks. But when I get to know someone, like with streamers, for example, you watch them for so long, it feels like you kind of do know them, like their personality. That's when I'm in trouble. But maybe that's why, like, over the years, the stereotypical heartthrobs like the Henry Cavills and stuff like that have never really appealed to me, even though I can look at them and be like, you are objectively gorgeous. Like, I've described it before as like, you're so beautiful, it's like you belong in a museum, like a beautiful painting. The aesthetics, like aesthetically perfection, you know? But then following that up with, but like, I don't want to fuck a painting, you know what I mean? It's like, for me, the real erotic draw of a person or a character has always come from like the interesting mix of personality traits and like how they manifest and like how they relate to my own interests. And so it has to be more than just looks. And to me, that makes so much sense. You know, it's like, how many attractive people are there in the world? There's millions and millions of people out there. So it's like, okay, there has to be something else, right? Otherwise, people would just be attracted to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, it's poorly articulated, but hopefully that makes sense. It can't just be looks. Sure, maybe it gets your foot in the door, but in terms of like what makes someone particularly attractive to you, it's got to be like multifaceted, sometimes even subconscious thing, you know? So yeah, maybe sometimes just a single strand, a wayward lock of hair. it's yeah, I can't pretend to know the intricacies of attraction and stuff like that. Only what I've gleaned from my own experiences. People sometimes wonder, like, where, Emmy, where do these crushes come from? And I'm like, I don't know. Well, I do kind of know. It's like a sense of humor, a sense of playfulness, and, you know, being aesthetically good looking obviously doesn't hurt. And so I say all this not just to share my thoughts, but also to hopefully, like, provide some comfort to people. Like, it's not Jova if you don't look like Henry Cavill. You know what I mean? Like, do you know how many guys out there get mad girls? Sorry, I was going to use another word, but they get lots and lots of girls because, not just because of how they look, or sometimes, you know, directly not because of how they look. Like, you can get pretty far with the right combination of a sense of humor and, you know, a sense of cleverness, a sense of teasingness. And it's like, it's just one of those things where, yeah, it's not Jova, guys. No matter how you look, and I mean that. I mean, I'm taking my own advice too, because when I was younger, like, I certainly have had many phases throughout my life. I've looked pretty different, and it's never really necessarily changed my ability to, like, you know, to pick up, to put it quite plainly. And I don't think that's a testament to my physical appearance. It's a testament to that inner whatever it is, you know, the aura, the inner fire or personality that, yeah, is basically what separates you from everyone else. So, yeah. I have looked at my face in the mirror, by the way. That's very funny. I look like I have excellent symmetry. That's a nice thing to say, though I assure you, I have done those, like, photo booth things where they, like, split your face and then reflect it, and oh god, trust me, I'm pretty sure that if I raise my eyebrows, you can see that one goes up higher than the other. And for the longest time, like, one side of my jaw, I think even now, was more developed than the other. So it's like little things like that you could drive yourself crazy, like, obsessing over, and certainly I've had my fair share of that. Sometimes I still do. But, you know, it's like, it's one of those things where I've tried to reframe it in such a way where it's like, okay, I could spend the next 20 minutes obsessing over this strand of hair that won't behave, which I do sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. Or I could take that 20 minutes and, like, message a friend and say, hey, I was thinking of you. Or, like, I could sit down and try and write a new song, you know, trying to find ways to take that inner nagging voice and, like, see if I can smother it with other good feeling activities, like making art or connecting with people, serving my community. Like, it sounds silly to have to, like, put it out in that way, but, you know, in a world where we're being pulled in all directions, and especially where we're being encouraged to feel sometimes insecure, like, the only real recourse, like, against that is to definitively and decidedly reject it, you know? And so, yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where I'm not always successful at it, but if I start feeling a bit insecure, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm having a bad hair day, I don't like the way I look in these jeans or whatever, like, I'll be like, okay, take those thoughts and just zip it. Sit down, like, get your ass down and, like, write a little poem or, like, write a story for half an hour and see if you're still thinking of that after. And if you are, then okay, maybe we need to reassess something here. Like, what's going on? Maybe you just need a shower or you need to get some food in you. But that idea of, like, trying to just stop a thought before it spirals and just, like, kind of eats up your day, it's been a muscle, I suppose, that I've been working on more and more. Yeah, Maui, I totally agree. Love doesn't always have to be based on looks. Like, in fact, there are times where someone that you may not have seen as necessarily your type, like, physical wise, the more you get to know them and the more that you kind of fall in love with their personality, the more attractive you find them physically. I mean, it happens all the time. you start like noticing them in a new way, like the way the light hits their hair, and you're like, oh, I never noticed that before. And so that feeling is quite a special, like sometimes fragile feeling to suddenly have, I don't know, these like rose-colored glasses on. I mean, as long as it's not too blinding, it can be a nice little like thrill, I suppose. And I think anyone has the capacity of being seen through that lens, like that loving, I don't know, like languorous almost gaze, Gaze. So it's not Joba, guys. No matter how you look, and if it really is a point of extreme contention, I mean, there's always words to fall back on, you know? And yeah, J-Bone, that's so perfect. So Arthur Conan Doyle said, work is the antidote to sorrow. It's perfect. That's literally the most concise way to say what I've been rambling about for the past half an hour. Yeah, it is a good distraction. I mean, I think that, you know, certainly there will be times where you can't just distract your way out of a particular issue, right? But in terms of like most of our daily trivialities, is that a word? Where, you know, sometimes it feels like these issues are potentially bigger than they actually are. To kind of just throw yourself into something that makes you happy can be very helpful, especially if that thing involves, you know, like something tangible at the end of it. When I say tangible, I don't necessarily mean like something you can feel, but like a poem. If you've created a poem at the end of it, it's like, oh, okay, I used my time and created something. That's kind of cool. And so, yeah, work is the antidote to sorrow is, I think, quite accurate. Though I'm using the term work not necessarily in terms of like, you know, a 9 to 5, but in terms of doing something, you know, anything. There's this idea of, you know, at times if things get really intense, just trying to not have a 0 day, you know? Like a 0 day is kind of like when you literally cannot get out of bed and you just stare at the wall for the entire time and then go to sleep again. So to essentially to have a non-0 day, all you need to do is just stand up and like go brush your teeth, drink some water. Like that idea of just doing anything to like get over that inertia is really powerful, you know? I think a lot of times I'm bested by inertia because it's like whenever I'm doing something, I want to stay doing that thing. And whenever I'm like not doing something, I want to stay not doing something. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really hard. The transitional phase between like two things can be really painful for me. And I remember, this is so silly, but it's true. When I was younger and I was still living with my parents and I had a curfew, like a bedtime, I used to be writing away on my computer, writing my little stories, and it would come up to my bedtime, like whatever it was, 10 p.m. or something, and be like, Emmy, it's time for bed. And I'd be like, please, no, just let me keep writing just a little bit longer, because it felt physically painful to like drag myself away, like kind of in the middle of a thought, essentially. And a lot of the times my parents would oblige, like they were very sweet. But you know, it's kind of like, it's one of those things where, you know, I have to now, even nowadays, make sure that I'm not accidentally just pushing past my normal stamina because I'm in the middle of a thought necessarily, you know, because now I don't have anyone to tell me to go to bed, so I can just stay up writing for hours and hours. Yeah, didn't they know princesses don't have bedtime? Exactly. And so I can't even say, like, it was probably over 50% of the time where my parents and I would have that back and forth. I'd be like, please just let me write just a little bit more. And they'd be like, oh, fine, I'll give you half an hour. And I'd be like, yes. And then it's just like, you know, the cycle continues. But the thing is, like, I genuinely back then and still now, I wasn't trying to like get one over on them. I was literally like, oh my God, I can't stop. Like, I literally can't stop. I'm in the middle of this like epic scene, and if I stop now, I'm going to forget everything. And so that feeling of like being in that flow state, or like, yeah, like right at the crux of something, it has applied to me not just for writing, but like for anything. if I'm cleaning the house or if I'm doing my homework. Like, I'm quite shackled, I think, to the fickle maiden of inertia. So, yeah, the antidote to that, I suppose, is discipline, though it's something I've been lacking quite a bit, I think. It's a character flaw, I know. But it's, it's part of our life's work. So I try to comfort myself by saying that. Still, I think I'm soft around the edges when it comes to discipline, maybe because I have had such a privileged life in that way. The flow state is like, it's right the worst possible time in my eyes. And like, I've even like tried to resist it at times where I'll be like, you know what? No, it's fine. I can stop now, and I'm surely going to remember whatever it is I was going to write. Surely, I'll just come back to it as soon as I can tomorrow. And then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I forgot everything. And so it's the worst feeling, right? I think for someone like me, who's kind of naturally a night owl, that just makes everything 10 times worse because most of the world operates like in the daytime. And so I can't just live in the shadows 24/7 and sleep during the day like a vampire. But that's when I literally am the most creative. Like, that's when I've written some of my best stories. And it doesn't help as well that some of my most creative like flow states happen when I'm just a tiny bit sleep deprived. So, this is not something that I recommend. Don't do this. Like, don't ever do this. Do not take this as advice. But I remember when things were really like coming down to the wire for school or for my own personal creative projects, and I was like, I need to like finish writing this thing, and I also need it to be good. Why don't I just kind of sleep deprive myself purposefully? Because that touch of delusion, for some reason, it just adds that required flavor to this like piece. And so there were times where I'd purposely not sleep because that semi-lucid state, I don't know, it seems to like, it seems to kind of like dull the critical side of the brain and wake up the more creative side. And I don't do that anymore. I guess I don't even need to because I'm always just fucking naturally sleep deprived anyway. But like, I wouldn't purposely go out of my way to do that because obviously it's very, very, very bad for you. And so don't take that as like what to do. It's definitely a like what not to do list. But it does kind of suck that it was effective. That's the thing. And so it's kind of like this intricate and quite delicate dance between what we know is good for us or bad for us and what actually gets results at times. And finding, if you can, some way to meet in the middle, Like, it's not feasible to live in a state of sleep deprivation. It's horrendous for your health, and it feels bad as well, But, like, there are, like, literal, actual benefits in a way, I use that word loosely. And so how can I find a sweet spot? What am I willing to give up or negotiate in order to like have the best of both worlds. And I haven't quite figured out that perfect formula, if such a thing exists. But the knowledge of it is at least, I think, better than just like blindly going in and just like eviscerating your general health in the pursuit of art and good feeling, Yeah, the need to dull your inhibitions, just the right amount. It's like, it's weird. Like, why is it so effective? That's what I don't get. Like, it feels like evolutionarily it's a bad idea. But I guess in a way, like staying up for multiple nights, it like kind of spikes your adrenaline and stuff, which you may need if you're out and about, like running from predators and stuff like that. Yeah. It's just weird. A lot of our like biological, what's the word? Like impulses or whatever you want to call it, they don't necessarily map perfectly onto our modern lives, and so there's a bit of a disconnect between how we're expected to live and how we most naturally prefer to live. I don't mean to defer to nature in that way, but yeah, this is definitely above my knowledge level. So take everything with a grain of salt. And yeah, J-Bone, it's funny you say that. Like, I also found that some of my best writing happened when I was like in a state of like kind of severe like emotionality, you know? Because like, I guess that's when we're most compelled to create stuff, right? Because we just need to express how we're feeling. But it was a bit of a problem because, like you, I found that I was doing my most prolific work and also my most vivid work when I was kind of like feeling sad or depressed. And so I was like, okay, what do I do here? Because like this is basically perpetuating a not too healthy cycle, because I almost didn't want to be happier if it meant that I'd have to, that if it meant, like it necessarily would, that my writing would suffer. And so in a way, I think something that I've learned over the years, or maybe I'm just learning as I'm talking right now, is that I have this almost like, I don't know, devotional relationship to writing and art in particular, like at the expense of my own self, which is really fucking weird. I don't know, like I've always felt that way, but it's only increased over time. And I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, like not the way you should go. But noticing it maybe is the first sign, you know, noticing you have a problem is the first sign. Because when I think about it, like there's a lot that I would give up before I gave up the ability to write or like make stuff, you know, like dictate stuff if I couldn't use my hands type beat. And so that's kind of freaky, you know, like it's weird to have that knowledge that something has such a pull over you. For me, it's always been writing. And I think I even like made, I don't know, did I make a video? Or I wrote a poem about like that idea that I'd pretty much prefer anything else besides revoking my ability to write and make stuff. I wonder if I can find it on my website. And that level of intensity, I don't know if that's necessarily helpful. Ability to write. Let me see if I can find it. Poetry or else. Better to listen to the writers like Sanderson and King who say they get up every day and write no matter what. Like it's a day job, but it's hard but sustainable. Not like J.R.R. Martin waiting 12 years for inspiration to strike. It's tough, isn't it? And like, I literally sympathize with both like ends of the spectrum. I've been in both ends of the spectrum, and I still don't know if I have found the magic in between spot. But like for me, at this point, I can't not write. And so even if it's like complete drivel, what I'm creating, even if it's like, oh God, this shouldn't even function as toilet paper, it's that bad. Like, it's more about the act than the product sometimes. Like the actual act of writing. It's a good way to describe this. I mean, in the most cliche terms possible, the journey, not the destination, even when the destination is a really valid and wonderful part of the entire experience. But like, I don't know if some people think about creating stuff as like their sole focus and purpose is the end product. But that's almost like a very commercial way to look at it. The way that I like to look at it is something like, I saw something on Twitter ages ago that hopefully I don't butcher too badly now, but it was like the end product, like the okay, the artistic end product is just kind of like a waste or byproduct of a spiritual experience. It's literally the worst way I could have put it. But basically saying like whatever you end up making, whether it's like a poem or a postcard, like that's kind of like besides the point. The actual point was the steps you took to make such a thing. And that's the spiritual part, you know? The end product is kind of just like the manifestation of it all, like a physical thing or a piece of music that you can listen to. And so yeah, can't be afraid to spend a week writing drivel for that hour of writing magic. It's true. And every now and then, I think, you'll surprise yourself with what happens, what comes out. Like the one line from the ceiling that drops into your lap, And if I hadn't spent that time just like in the muck, in the trenches type beat, then I wouldn't have had those little like light bulb moments. And so that's, of course, worth it as well. But yeah, I don't know. This stuff to me has been relatively like common knowledge, I guess. And so sometimes I wonder if I'm just like saying stuff that people already know and it's like kind of boring as hell, like change the record type beat. But I know that not everyone is really like that kind of interested in arts or creative stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's transferable, some of those ideas, like persistence or just like repetition, building up your skill, your tolerance over time. Because like sometimes it can be disheartening to start a project and feel really bad at it. Like, wow, I am so shit at this thing. I should just stop right now. Because you look around, you see people also doing that hobby or skill, and you're like, look at these people, they're so good. Like, what the hell? I should just like quit before I embarrass myself. What you don't see is like a lot of those people were in your shoes once and they were feeling the same way. And maybe you're watching someone who has 20 years of experience while you're starting like literally at like day dot, And so that perspective can be helpful because like, it's easy to get disheartened, but we often sell ourselves a bit short, I think. And in like the creative field as well, there's more rejections than there are like acceptance letters, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of like train that muscle to take on rejection without feeling like, oh God, I want to die, because yeah, it's like an inevitability, that someone won't like what you've done. Someone will find it trite or cliche. Someone won't like the way that you look or the way that you talk or your opinions. And it's like you have to learn how to, first of all, deal with it. And then the more advanced technique to deal with it with grace, which is something that is important to me, though I think I have varying levels of success. Honestly, it's becoming more and more of an important like idea in my mind, that idea of grace and graciousness, because it's like, it's basically the key to everything in terms of like social interactions, in terms of making peace with yourself and other people in your life, with the stuff that you create, with your work. Like, I don't know, you can sometimes tell if someone has or has not kind of trained that skill, the skill of being gracious. And sometimes when you see someone who's really exceptionally good at it, like Princess Diana comes to mind for some reason, just at the top of my head, like it's arresting. It stops you in your tracks and you think, holy shit, like there's something magnetic and powerful here, even if it's quite like soft spoken and gentle. Like if you think about Princess Diana, she wasn't like brash or loud or she wasn't like necessarily bombastic, but she was lively and spirited, and she absolutely commanded a room, like even amongst literal royalty, And I think it has a lot to do with that graciousness, that ability to tap into something a little bit ineffable, to use a great word. Does that make sense? Can you guys think of any other people that kind of fit that bill? While I have a drink, thank you, Liam, and this is a wink just for you. Ding. Name 5 women. Oh, that's tough. I don't know. Like, let's see. Do skeleton women count? No. Sans does not count. He's a burly male skeleton. So, that's funny. That reminds me of those interviews on the street where like people get bombarded by someone with a microphone and they're asked a question, a really easy question like, how many days are there in the week? And people say shit like 24, and then they're just like, what the fuck? But I can understand that feeling of being like accosted, you know, and just not like saying the first thing that comes to mind or not knowing what to say. Like, yeah. It's easy enough to point and laugh, but then to be in that situation, if someone comes up to you and just like yells in your face and you're like, what the like, what are you talking about? And there's like a camera crew and like someone with a boom mic and you're just like, oh shit, I'm about to be all over YouTube. Yeah, name 5 women. Sands, Papyrus Sands, Freddie Mercury. That's my list. Yeah, I'd kill the how many days are there in a week question. Obviously 8, right? There's this YouTuber actually who's killing it right now, and I can't believe I forgot their handle because a friend showed me, so I should have written it down. But it's this guy, and he's kind of like just, you know, prowling the streets of London, asking people really, really, really easy questions, like really easy questions, and this isn't staged to my knowledge. Like, it's genuine and genuine responses and stuff. And it actually is scary, like some of the things that people say in response. Like, I'm trying to think of one of the questions he asked. Fuck. It's stuff that you wouldn't believe. Like, you know, how many weeks are there in a month? Or like, how many numbers are there in the world? Like, he'd ask questions like that and people would be like, is it 28 weeks in a month? Or like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's pretty crazy shit. And if I need to ask my friend what that guy's channel was called, because it's a little bit concerning, to be honest. And to my knowledge, it's not staged. But maybe you guys will have to be the judge of that. Because these people look like genuine, like just citizens of London, you know? They're just walking about and then this guy comes up to them with a microphone. Maybe it's the shock of it, but yeah. I don't know. It is a bit freaky, I'm not gonna lie. Goodness me. My website. What is happening here? That is so weird. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a coworker. Fuck. I wonder if there's like a literal gap in my window. Because the other day, it was so cold in here. By the way, the heat is on right now. It was really cold and I was like, what the fuck? I can feel a draft. I can literally feel a draft coming in. And so I like went over to the window and I was like trying to just like investigate, but it was closed fully to my knowledge. But I could feel air rushing in. I was like, how is that possible? So I don't know. Maybe there's a ghost. But yeah, I'm a bit perplexed. If you guys know why that might be happening. I mean, I think the insulation is just really bad, but why are there a bunch of little, like, they're almost like fruit flies that show up. And there's like no food in here whatsoever. And it's like the furthest room away from the kitchen. So, I don't know. Like, maybe there's like some, have you guys ever left like a banana in your school bag over the school holidays and then opened it up after 2 weeks to carnage? Maybe that's the situation here, but it's been many, many years since I've been in school like that. And yeah, I would be pretty surprised if there was just like a stray banana somewhere causing all this trouble. But yeah, it's fucking like distracting. Like, I thought I took care of you, you know. And Snack sitting there asking what's with the food flies. That's funny. But seriously, like, it's also embarrassing because, like, I swear to God, guys, like, this is a clean place. besides the clothes on the floor. So what's with the fly? Never using that again in my career. It's a good line. Oh, God. It's weird. I honestly think there's like a gap somewhere in my window, or I don't know. It's kind of right by the front door, so they could come in from there. Yeah, hiding a banana somewhere, potentially. But it's decidedly unerotic because it's like a banana in a school bag left for 2 weeks. Fuck me. Yeah. I'm just saying, why? What is this phenomenon? I don't know. Maybe the fly thought it was too clean and he wanted to be the one dirty thing in there. Fairy tale, hello. Oh my gosh, I've missed you, my friend. How are you? Honestly, I hope that's the case because this has been happening for a while now and I can't understand it. Like, I literally purposefully make sure to never have food in here, except the one time where I was like eating cake on camera for stream. Outside of streaming purposes, I never eat food in here because it's like my dressing room essentially and my desk. I don't want crumbs all over the place. And so, what are they here for? That's the question. And why? And why do they always like, I don't know, they always show up when I'm fucking streaming. Like when I'm just chilling by myself, they fuck off and they're like, oh, you know, it's not interesting anymore. Like I don't want to, if I'm not going to be on camera, then, you know, I'm going to get out of here. As soon as I start streaming, they're all just like, oh, they're trying to get a piece of the action. So it's astounding. But anyway, enough of that. Cloud hogs. I'm perplexed. I'm genuinely perplexed. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know why they're here. And I don't know what to do about them because they're so tiny. They're like little aphids or whatever they're called. And there's no leaves in here. There's no food in here. Oh, could it be? Fuck. Could it be? My potion. This could potentially it's got a lot of organic, like it's got leaves and shit in it. So I don't know, is that like, do flies like that shit? I don't even know. This is a potion. It used to look a lot prettier, but now it's kind of taken on this disturbing hue. It's like kind of swamp colored, but you know, I like to think of it as maturation over time. It used to be, yeah, this perfect like Aphrodite pink. And yeah, is it turning into wine? I don't know. But I was just thinking, maybe that's what the flies are attracted to. If it's like, I don't know, can they smell it or some shit? If they can sit on it and lick it, they'll be there. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but I was saying how the cork was a little bit like loose, or not loose, but like it was leaking a little bit. And it's essentially like water and leaves and shit. And that would explain why they kind of get close here. I hate it when the potion attracts flies. Okay. Maybe I need to experiment, like put this away. Because I was like, literally, what is in here that could possibly be attracting them? Okay. Anyway, sorry, I just like totally random, uninteresting bullshit. Welcome in to our friends who are joining us. Filthy Fresh, it has been a while. Fairy Tale again. What have you been up to? Ben, and let's see. Anyone that I missed? Did I miss anyone here? Now I Sway. Yeah. Life is crazy. It do be crazy. That's true. Do I have plans this week? I have plans to today see a movie with my auntie, my brother, maybe my cousin if he wants to stop by again. The weekend, I don't think I've got anything planned. But then my parents come back next week, so I'm happy. I'm not sure what we'll be seeing tonight. That's what I need you guys to help me decide. Like what movie to enhance my media literacy. What would you pick? A classic? Feel-good movie? You know, like anything that you think, oh, you have to see that at least once, you know? Because yeah, we're utilizing essentially my parents' entertainment system as it's currently unused by them as they're in Europe. Yeah, what's even on? And I think it probably has to be on Netflix because yeah, that's what we're working with so far. I have seen Mrs. Doubtfire. Gotta love Robin Williams. I haven't seen Where Dreams Come True. May come true. May come. I don't know why. Just reading something totally different. Tell me what it's about. Is it Robin Williams as well? You didn't miss me, but you missed my heart. Maida, I can never miss you. Like, you're always in my heart. I carry you with me wherever I go. Fairy Tale, you've been twerking, lurking in gym. That's fantastic. I'm glad you like the shirt as well. My mum made it, and it's Pathic, our favorite. I think you'd fuck with Paris, Texas. What's it about? That's cool. Why does it sound like something Matthew McConaughey would be in? In Texas. I come here to escape low-key. Honestly, I do too. Life is a bit much sometimes. It's nice to come here and just chill, you know? It's like a little slice of rest and hopefully a good feeling. If I have anything to say about it. Dude wanders the desert for ages and gets amnesia. That sounds cool. As for Dreams May Come, Robin Williams dies and explores heaven. That sounds interesting. He has to go to hell to get his wife out. Ooh. Now, just be like clear with some of these movies. You have to tell me if they're sad because, like, I'm so bad with sad movies. Like, they just devastate me, you know? Because, like, literally, I can't deal. I have purposely worked my life around, yeah, trying to only watch sad movies when I'm alone because I just can't. A little sad, okay. A happy ending. Yeah, because I'm going to be watching this with family, so I don't want to just burst into tears. A little slice of heaven is nice. Have I watched or read anything good lately? Oh, I have indeed. Though I'm a bit late to the party, to be honest. Like, trying to catch up on things I probably should have seen or read a while ago, like The Hangover, Scarface. These are movies that I've seen recently. What else? Dead Poet Society, did I just say that? I tried to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I had to stop it because I was getting too emotional about it. I had to, like, decide, nah, I'm going to watch this later, guys, on my own. As for reading, what have I been reading? I mean, I've been reading Lord of the Rings. So, yeah. Oh, gosh. I have not seen Casino. Is that, wait, is that Casino with Mads Mikkelsen? I love Mads. He's my auntie's mystery crush. Yeah, Hangover was really good. Actually, I might end up watching the second one today. Though I want my cousin to be there because he was with us for the first one. Let's see. Yeah, Robert De Niro. Oh, cool. I think, yeah, what else have I seen with him? He sometimes just pops up in movies. I'm like, oh, there he is. That's cool. He's, yeah, he's good. A bit like Willem Dafoe in that way. He just pops up. Yeah, Lord of the Rings has been my current absolute obsession and fascination. Probably a bit too obsessed and fascinated. Like, for many, many reasons. So I've been trying to like play it cool on stream, like not talking about it too much, even though we've been talking about it a lot. It just proves that I could be talking about it even more somehow. But yeah, I'm reading that currently, and I'm just like, I'm fangirling, you know? Yeah, you guys, if you haven't seen the movies, they're so good. Like, I cannot believe that it took me such a long time to actually sit down and watch them, because I always thought this is like uncharitable, and I understand this, but I always thought that Lord of the Rings was going to be boring. I don't know, because I heard that it was long and it's kind of like magical fantasy, and despite the fact that I like the genre, and that I trust my friends' judgment and I trust my loved ones' judgment, I just never got around to it. Movies had always been quite a big investment, and like I was perfectly happy just watching and rewatching Cat in the Hat over and over. But eventually, my friend sat me down and we watched like the movies, not in a row. I think that would have broken me. But like once every few days, we'd watch the next one. And somewhere along the way, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Like, I couldn't really figure out when the switch happened. But there was like, I was just so like enveloped into the world that it was presenting. And then I was like, I need to read the book now. And so that's what I'm doing. And it's just blown my mind even further, because like the prose, Prose, is like magnificent. And as a writer, that's like the biggest, like most amazing compliment ever, you know? And yeah, just the complexity of it all, the with the movies, the love that's been so obviously poured into it. It's nice. It's like comforting. With projects like that, such massive projects, it does boggle the mind to think about the utter organization that's required, you know what I mean? Like to put together such a production. So it's a very different feeling from the kind of solo stuff that happens here, you know, just writing on my own, like a little hermit. So I haven't seen a Serbian film, but my cousin has. He said that it was the most fucked up thing he's ever watched. So I definitely am fine to keep that away from me with a 10-foot pole. Though that's not to say that I'm what's the word? That I'm like prudish about transgressive themes. Like I do love a good mind fuck in a way. You know, like sometimes the thing that annoys me in certain media is like how severely they play it safe. Like how obvious it is that they're trying to pander to the broadest possible, like family friendly, usually audience. It happens all the time on YouTube as well. Because it's like, I understand why they're doing that. I mean, it's profitable, it's proven, it works. But when it comes at the expense of the actual thing, like the piece of art, it just seems like such a shame. Like, it's just annoying that we've kind of normalized a culture where we have to contort and twist ourselves into highly euphemized language instead of saying what we actually mean, because we'll get demonetized or fucking, you know, like you'll get certain privileges revoked by whichever company's got their hands around your neck. Oh, the house that Jack built was fucking fantastic. I saw that one recently as well. That was definitely transgressive. Fucking amazing movie. And utterly indescribable, to be honest. I mean, you probably could describe it. It's like about a fucking kind of interesting man who does some very bad things. But yeah, like I like it and I admire it when artists kind of push the envelope a little bit, because most of the time they're doing it at their own expense, like willfully, knowing that they could like lose a sponsorship if they, if they broach or like kind of center their work on certain topics, or if they say the actual word instead of saying like, I don't know, this highly TikTokified censored version to appease advertiser sensibilities. It's like there are real stakes here. And so when people are willing to just like step up to the plate, I'm like, oh, okay, I fuck with you, man. Like, it's just, yeah, it's unfortunate. But you've probably heard it before. Like if you're on TikTok or whatever and you say, oh, she was raped and then she unalived herself. It's like, do you hear how fucking like, I don't know, crazy that sounds, Yeah, the baby speak. And I know that certain words have now become like part of the internet culture speak, and that's fine. But in terms of like some of those pretty serious topics getting kind of like, yeah, babyfied, babyfied. It's like, dude, you're talking about rape and suicide. Say it how it is, Like, it's horrifying, and the words are horrifying because the acts are horrifying, Like, to kind of couch it in that cutesy language, it's kind of, in a way, yeah, it's almost like disrespectful. And it's not the fault of the person saying it. It's the fault of these systems we've put in place. Because like the people that talk quite candidly and quite openly, they get their channels shut down or they get demonetized and they can't sustain a livelihood. So they have to, they have to appease these systems that hold them quite tightly bound, Yeah, suicide, exactly. So those are memes quite overtly, and it's like, that's fine. But like, I'm pretty sure there was this one instance, please correct me if I'm wrong, where like there was like some museum, maybe it was like Holocaust related, and on a plaque, like in a museum, they had written something like, oh yeah, and like this person like unalived themselves. And it was like, right, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Just like say the truth of the matter. Like the horror is the point. Like it was like, it went viral, I think, for a little while, and they quickly reinstated the right words and shit. Yeah, it's just like, what are we doing, man? And it's unfortunate because this is just like, it's a problem with no clear-cut solution and a problem with no clear-cut villain, The people adopting this language, they're not bad people. They're doing their best in a system that is contorting and twisting what they want to say into things that they can't possibly say without repercussions, So as much as it makes me cringe to hear someone say, oh yeah, after she was raped, she unalived herself. It's like, it does make me cringe, but it's like, I can't direct that cringe directly to the person because they're just trying to fucking, they're just trying to get along. Like, they're just trying to move through their day, make some videos, and like not have the fucking banhammer come down and like ruin their sense of, I don't know, making a living. Yeah, capitalism moment for sure. And so when it is a situation like that, where there's no real clear-cut person to blame or like, villain that you can point to and like throw them on the train tracks, what do you do? Yeah, it does really just come down to appeasing advertisers. And it boils my blood. It really does. And you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about this because like it comes up so often. But it's frustratingly pervasive how like everything in our lives become centered around appeasing advertisers and products and companies that sell products. It's like we have literally centered our world around selling random shit. And that's fine, I guess. Like, an advertisement in general is not an evil thing. It's an inert thing, I guess. but it's about the kinds of advertisements and the power that we give them, and like the and just like every fucking other thing around it that makes it like so problematic, I suppose. You know? Like the predatory practices, or the immense amounts of money that goes into researching, oh, just the right word to make people buy this thing like right now, or to make people insecure just enough to not make them fully depressed they can't get out of bed, but just enough so that they'll buy our lipstick. And it's like, this is not stuff, like these advertisements are not doing that stuff accidentally. It's purposeful, researched, highly, highly specialized words and visuals to like create a certain outcome. And we just like let it happen. And yeah, well researched, well honed. There are literal mega companies that their singular purpose is to make advertisements as like compelling as possible, you know? And the thing is, this may be a little bit hyperbolic, but I can't help but think that if it were legal to fucking hypnotize you while you were watching TV, like they would do that. Advertisement, like companies or whatever, they would do it, you know? Yeah, like people hire fucking psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists. They hire people from all different disciplines to get together and create something basically like as close as you can get to irresistible, you know? And so it's like, oh God, we're living in a world where we just don't give a fuck about that, you know? And so when it comes down to the most powerful, I guess, drives, or even the most powerful like conglomerates, we have to appease the advertisers, you know? And so that's one reason among many why I found TikTok to be so insufferable. I don't want to scroll on TikTok and hear people using this baby-fied, highly euphemized, highly couched language for horrific events that should be given their due respect. Call it what it is. Rape, suicide. Like, the moment we start, like, dressing it up in pretty wrapping paper, like, we start to distance ourselves from the horrific truth of the matter, you know? It's a form of distancing and othering, and I'm sure it has negative effects on, like, people's ability to feel empathy towards one another, you know? Like, oh, you know, what's so bad? It was just a grape, you know? Language is important. The words we use are important. They mean things, for fuck's sake. You know, I'm genuinely getting mad. See, just don't go on TikTok, guys, you know? The TikTok brain is just, yeah, it's bad for you. And like, you know, YouTube is not much better. The amount of things that you can get demonetized for, it's like unbelievable how specific it gets. And these well-intentioned creators who have wonderful, insightful things to say, who are like literal titans when it comes to education and especially like digital media education, they are constantly like pressed from all angles to make sure that they don't say one singular word that's like gonna offend the sensibilities of fucking Coca-Cola, you know, like, and they have to abide because otherwise they will not be able to like pay for their fucking mortgage or whatever, you know? Like, how did we get to this point? It's why a lot of people like, you know, a lot of creators on YouTube, they have their separate Patreons and stuff, you know? Like, it can be quite annoying, I know, from a viewer's point of view, to like be like, oh, another YouTuber who's like plugging their Patreon. But it's like, it's because YouTube is so finicky, and at any moment they could just decide, oh, you know that that video you made where you were very educationally talking about like, let's say, sex scenes in books and what they mean and what their purpose is. Yeah, we're deciding that's actually too lewd, and we're gonna like take all the money that you made from that. Sucks for you, I guess. It's like a YouTuber has two choices essentially. Make highly sanitized content that only touches on topics that are like, Baby Shark, let's analyze Baby Shark. Or they can bite the bullet, and just be like, yeah, I wanted to make a video about like something genuinely educational. Maybe the latent eroticism in decadent literature, focusing on Oscar Wilde. Demonetized. Just like biting the bullet and knowing that's what's going to happen. Because otherwise, they'll just be making this soulless slop content that could potentially be just made by an AI, So it's just like, fuck, man, what do we do? And yeah, half those companies don't even pay people for their content or employees for their work. It's true. It's like trying to think about it in like the most bottom line terms has helped me. Because it's like I said earlier, however hyperbolic it may seem, if advertising companies could fucking hypnotize you through the screen, the TV screen, they fucking would. If companies could get away with not paying any of their employees, they fucking would. If it were legal to, like, I don't know, come round to your house and force products on you and force you to pay for it, they would. Usually the bottom line is, like, scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of legality, They're constantly working within the confines of what can we get away with. And when it comes to art and stuff, that is utterly, like, incompatible, incomprehensible. Like, it's depressing, to be honest. And it's true, like, I'm sure the problem is just magnified in places like the US. I don't have as much of a grasp on the situation in the US. There are people kind of way more, like, well-versed than I am. But it's like, it's almost been, like, valorized over there. Like, people pledge allegiance to the companies and shit because it's, like, seen as being cool, or, like, you're somehow siphoning off some of that clout. It's like the biggest scam of our fucking lifetimes. Trying to convince us that this is the future, the reality that we want. To be beholden to companies that have so much money, like, fuck you amounts of money, with a singular purpose of just making more of it. Is that the future that we want? I don't know, man. And that's why it's so important to, like, start at a grassroots level and, like, make art yourself. Share it with people. Enjoy the process. Like, create these little pocket communities and try to remember the whole point of it, Money is nice, sure. We all want it, It makes things in life certainly easier. But you don't, like, take it with you, And I understand it comes from a partially privileged position of mine to be able to speak in that kind of blasé manner about money. If you're literally living, like, fucking paycheck to paycheck and you're about to be homeless, or you literally haven't eaten for a few days because you can't afford food, I'm sure, like, the perspective is different, right? I realize my own limitations in that way. But, like, at a certain point, like, where do you draw the line? Like, how much does the next billion really change your life as opposed to the first? I don't know. Does that make sense? Oh god, did my stream just die? It says connecting to chat. Yeah. This is not, like, said to be a doomer mode, by the way. Like, this is meant to be hopeful. Yeah, like, every second is a brand new second, it's true. It's like, you can hear all this and be like, fuck, we're so screwed. And that would be valid. But I think the more helpful way to think about it is to be like, I see. It's up to me to play a small part here. to try and make the world slightly less shit, you know? And if multiple people have that perspective, and if it kind of expands out like a big wave, then there's no telling what change can happen, you know? Stranger things, you know? Stranger things have happened. Sometimes it just takes a really dedicated person to kind of lead the way, and then, you know, you're off. I have to believe that, you know? Otherwise it's hopeless. But I don't think it's truly hopeless. People are innovative and interesting, and they give a fuck about things. And so no matter how many corporations there are out there trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel, there's always going to be people out there who have convictions and thoughts and dreams and feelings and the desire to make something out of that stuff and share it. And that's worth paying attention to, you know. That's what we should be watering in this metaphorical garden, you know. You know. Can you guys hear that? Fucking sirens in the background. Yeah. Stuff like this. The Patrick shirt. Rune Rose, I hope you're well. And so that kind of reminds me of a poem. Did I even upload this poem? It's kind of related to what we were talking about. It's why I spend all these hours on stream talking about the importance of making art, knowing that, you know, it's kind of a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but like even a small thing can have a big change, you know, like a pebble in a stream. With enough time, it can divert the stream's course and create a totally new channel. So I wrote this poem in response to the kind of quite fair and common question about, like, well, Emmy, you talk about poetry a lot, as if it's like gonna fix the world, but there are real practical material problems out there, and art can only do so much. This is my response, and hopefully it kind of, you know, touches on some of the stuff we've also just been talking about. It's called Musings from the Burj Khalifa Spire, and it's from my website, baby. So I wanted to make this because I needed something to refer back to when people asked this, or like something similar, because it's a fair enough thing. And, you know, instead of like having to kind of go through the whole explanation every time, just pointing to this and being like, this is how I feel. It became kind of necessary. So the Burj Khalifa Spire is like the very tip point of the tallest building in the world. I believe it's in Dubai. So yeah, just ignore the Pikmin tab. So a poem can't fix a hole punched through a wall. Can't call up your therapist to make an appointment. A poem can't mute the warplanes, turn tragedy silent, or fold into shelter for those who require it. A poem can't make you taller, can't infuse you with iron. It can't help you burn calories, can't unfuck the climate. A poem can't replace friends. It can't subsidize rent. A poem can't catch you falling from a razor-thin ledge. But a poem can be a start, a spark of intent. A poem can be a blessing in the shape of a first step. You feel me? Like, there are literal, physical, material, spiritual, individual, lyrical limitations, right? To what art can do. I'm taking the word poem to kind of mean art in general. Like, you know, it's fun to wax poetic about how wonderful art is, but it kind of falls flat in the face of urgent material needs, like paying rent or needing to put food on the table. Still, my my perspective has never been to replace everything with just making shit tons of art, you know? My perspective has always been a more moderate approach, a coalescing of the different areas of life to see the different ways that they could potentially bolster or improve one another, you know? And so I would consider there to be such a thing as creative health in the same way that there is mental or physical health, you know? And yeah, on a large scale, art changes culture, culture changes people. That's exactly right. So it's kind of like we're starting here with the most atomized form of change, with the knowledge that it may or may not have future rippling implications, you know? And so that's why I would encourage people, if they have the desire or the option and the resources to just try their hand at whatever form of art takes their fancy. You know, some people may not be interested in writing. It's the thing I talk about most here, but I don't mean to say that it's the most important. It's just the one I'm most familiar with. Some people might be interested in underwater basket weaving, and that's fine. It's I just don't want people to feel as if their interests and contributions aren't needed in the world, you know? Because they absolutely are. And it doesn't matter how niche, it doesn't matter how particular, it doesn't matter what style, whatever it is that you know or think that you can make, there's a place for it. Even if it's not doing anything so unfucking the climate. A lot of the time I think the creative arts and all of its related peripherals, they seem like luxuries. They seem like indulgences. They seem like they are kind of supplementary in a way to the real necessities of life. And maybe there's an argument to be made there. But it's my belief that it's no less necessary than, a warm place to be sheltered, or a nice conversation with a friend. Is that a luxury? I mean, you won't die without it necessarily, but potentially you might wish you were. And so in that case, enough said. This is all to say, make the thing, write the thing, direct the thing, draw it, paint it, sing it, dance to it, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know, there's art forms that I've never even heard of before that are probably being mastered right now. Just do it, seriously. And not for any clout, necessarily. If that stuff happens, it happens, it's wonderful. Not for the clout, not for the money, not for the bitches. Do it because it feeds your soul, because it trains some muscle in focused attention, in thinking, in clear-headedness, or in the bolstering of one's own confidence. Those are the reasons. We have been told that the only important currencies in our world involve literal currency, money, or attention, or clout, And while that can be fine, there's a lot more to it than just that, Yeah, painting the Mona Lisa for bitches. It'd probably work, to be honest. But it's just I do wonder sometimes how much nourishment that people deny themselves because they think it's either what's the word, unnecessary? But anyway, you guys have heard me go on about it enough. Is there anything else from my website that I can show you guys? There was, I was talking earlier about that poem of mine where I talk about like kind of, it's almost like give me writing or give me death type beat. Why do I write? Sorry. I can probably just show you guys what I'm looking at. I'm trying to find it. This is kind of a little bit about what we're talking about. Yeah, because we're talking about like how sometimes making art feels as if it's so indulgent that it's unlawful. But that feeling is just, it's a fraud, you know? It's what we've been encouraged to think, so we're constantly trying to be on that grind set, you know? Let's see. I'll read this, and maybe after that we'll sign off for today. This is from one of my... Is it from the suite? Or just from my diary? Okay. Midway through creation. This is like an excerpt from a much longer stream of consciousness piece. Because a lot of the time I would just write for like an hour or more, and over 50% of it was absolute garbage. But occasionally there were little like turns of phrase that I thought were kind of interesting. And so collect them all, and this is kind of the result. Midway through creation. I go around in circles all the time. My teacher said to stop writing in hypotheticals, and immediately I knew she was right, and that she had found the little spiral center of me that I had been hiding not too solemnly. It's hard for me to detach from myself from the hypothetical. Most of my days I live in there. Before I knew any of this, of writing or understanding or knowing there was a world at all around me, I knew that committing myself to one idea was an utter travesty. Of course, there are ideas now that I hold close to me, but usually I hang barely suspended, wishing I was okay with being a pendulum. Most of the time, writing feels good. It feels like I'm doing something that I was meant to be doing, like a perfectly natural activity that is sense and exaltation personified. What a privilege it is to write, I think, all the time. Even if never to share or be important or have outward vindication, this snapshotting of an exact frame of thinking is gorgeously overwhelming. Speaking for anyone else makes me antsy, so I can only say it for me when I say that writing is a practice that terminates me. I don't know if this sounds pleasant or not, but that feeling of flow state, entering and being hostage in, feels so indulgent it almost seems unlawful. Maybe we're heading there one day. Maybe indulgence will be a sin soon. But if I'm being selfish anyway, today is not that day, and I can go on writing until something stops me. That something will have to be an extraordinary force, stronger than the supermassive density of a brain fierce and running, the impossible sorcery that is a thought midway through creation. You feel me? Yeah, and you can see in the tags, it used to be like pages and pages long. It's like kind of what we're talking about, right? That idea that, you know, art is not a luxury necessarily. It is brushing up so close to a necessity, you know, that at times the distinction disappears. And so, sorry, just taking care of a coworker. I want you guys to feel encouraged to follow that thing of yours, whatever it is, whatever activity that it is, that feels like a perfectly natural activity, sense and exaltation personified. So what that means, well, sense is a word that can have multiple meanings, like as in making sense, understanding, but also the different sensory experiences of our body, touch, taste, smell, etc., etc. Now, exaltation is a little bit like almost religious, like a religious ecstasy kind of thing. So finding the thing that feels not only natural, but intensely good feeling / pleasurable, you know? Like, I'm almost certain that everyone has a thing like that. And, sorry. Crazy. It's not a sin to pursue it. Even if it's something as utterly unnecessary as art and all its forms, you know? What else was there in diary entries? Yeah, Ben, you raise a really interesting point. I think it is a hugely common criticism that's levied sometimes towards artists. That idea of something being too masturbatory. What a great word. And honestly, in a way, I think it could. Most art kind of is, right? And I think when you try and shy away from it, that's when you can see that the artist is like a little bit hesitant. You know what I mean? Like they should just go fucking all in. That's my perspective. Because, I don't know, it just seems like I want to see an idea fully realized no matter how masturbatory it is, you know? I think I remember reading that poem, Ben, unless, yeah. Was it on Twitter or was it on the Discord? But it's like, it's something that I understand why like people would be kind of self-conscious about making and sharing their work. Because it's like, this is a really intimate part of myself. And like people might make fun of it, or they might think it's silly, or they might think it's woefully self-indulgent to the point of being just like laughable, you know? But I think if anyone does have that like reaction, they're just not on your level, you know? If they don't get it, if you know, you know. And so like, I would encourage people to try and make their most self-indulgent piece of art and see what it looks like or sounds like. You might be surprised because like that idea of taking an idea, and turning that idea into another idea, it's like pushing something to its absolute limit can often reveal things like boundaries that you may have thought were there aren't, and vice versa. Like pushing up against the edges of something to kind of scope out the space, you might realize, oh, I've been actually holding back when I didn't necessarily need to. Or you might be like, this idea doesn't really interest me anymore. And so playing with extremes can be really educational in that way. It can feel a little bit like, oh gosh, I can't believe it. Like, you know, I'm putting too much of myself onto this page or whatever. And there's no real antidote to that. Potentially exposure therapy. I think the drive to share or the drive to make something has to just simply be more powerful than the feeling of embarrassment, you know? And that just takes time and sometimes like a great depth or severity of feeling. So, yeah. I don't know, is that like helpful? I think on that note, we're going to wrap up for today. And we'll do affirmations. As for the weekend, I'm not sure what the streaming schedule will be like, but I'll do my best to show up. You know, I can't stay away for too long. Yeah, I agree. Everyone should create if they can. Like, even just to try it. Just to try once, you know? YOLO type beat. But anyway, let me get myself organized here. Thank you guys for joining me today. And yeah, I'll see you guys whenever, hopefully sometime soon. And yeah, Ben, it is easy for you to say. You're quite good. Until we see each other again, let me leave you with this little magic spell from the lovely Lovely. Amy Walker. Affirmations. Can I spell, please? If you're looking for a little snapshot of poetry, it's a perfect, like, 30-second video, however long it is. And so, please accept my poultry imitation, because I think there's something nice about hearing the words said, you know, directly to you. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to tell you, yes. Yes, you are. You are ready. You are equipped. You are connected. You are unique. You are gorgeous. You are loved. My personal favorite, you are alive. What a marvel. So thank you for chilling with me, like just letting me complain about faceless corporations. But more importantly than that, being here on this earth in general. I know it's not always easy, but it is always important. And I do believe that we can make life good for one another. That's the whole point of this stream, and that's the whole reason that I can stay in a, you know, not doomer mode. Otherwise I'd just be like, oh, what's the point, you know? I think we can make life good for one another through many different ways. Like, as decadent as you please, essentially. So, anyway, without further ado, we're gonna like just raid into someone totally random. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend whenever it comes. I'll let you guys know which movie I end up watching. So, maybe we'll say hi to Scotchy. It's been a while. Yeah. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take care. And yeah, you know where to go if you want to rep this drip, you know? Bye now. Bye.